was actually when I was dieting LA because the ride went out with some friends in the mountains with 2 troops. And it was my first time doing it. And the person who was supplying said shrooms basically gave me a huge plate like this big, stacked it, covered it in shrooms, and said eat all of them, which is very irresponsible for someone's first time. I don't know. I just know it was a plate covered in shrooms. Show me the size of the plate. Give me an example. Oh gosh. It was like a dinner plate. Like when you go to like Ruth's Chris and have a steak. Yes. Yes. But it was shrooms. And I have never done shrooms in my life. I had no, because until you do a psychedelic, you have no concept of psychedelic. Right. Like weed isn't anything close to it, not even the same planet. So I ate all of it. We walked down to the water, and then the whole world changed. But the difference between shrooms and DMT is, to me, with shrooms, you're still on Earth, even though Earth's heavily distorted and. That's because you have your eyes open and you're walking around. That's true. DMT, you leave Earth. If you were in silent darkness, if you were alone by yourself in the dark and you were laying down on mushrooms and just closed your eyes, it'd be very similar. Oh, okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah, we were walking around, and there's something about doing it, like, we were in this neighborhood in Big Bear with all these, like, cabins, and, like, I started getting so freaked out that everyone was just watching from their houses, and it was me and 5 people. And so we're all tripping, walking back to the cabin from the water, holding hands, and walking slowly, like, oh my God. And I was like, are people looking? They probably are. Look at these freaks holding hands, no, for sure. Balls. And we were all, like, social media people or whatever, and we were like, if we're gonna film this, it's gonna be on YouTube tomorrow. Wow. It'd be fun. Yeah, I wouldn't have been ashamed. It's not the best idea to do that publicly. A lot of people wind up doing that. They do it publicly, they trip balls and they walk around. Or to eat a whole plate. Yeah. I should have had one little shroom. That's a good way to start. Yeah. The good way to start is like one, and you get like a little feeling, maybe like a duogram. You know, nothing crazy. Yeah. Before you want to get into like the 3 to 5 gram, like yikes. You know. I think it's also very important to do it when you're maybe in a good place in life. Like I would never want to do it if I was in a bad place. Like when I did shrooms, half of my trip was really, really scary and really bad because I was in a bad mindset. Like LA was on fire, I was escaping, I felt unsure about the world. Right before we tripped, it was like a news report, like Trump going into a bunker as protesters descend upon the White House, and I was like, let me escape this. I don't think it's good to use it like as escapism. Shrooms. Did Trump have to go to a bunker? Is that real? I think he denied it after that, but I remember in DC when it was the riots happening, and I think they moved Trump to a safe place. I'm sure he would deny it, but when I did DMT, I did it very recently, and I'm in like one of the best places of my life recently. Like I'm in a new city that I'm actually really enjoying, even though it was a tough transition at first. Been through a couple of those, but I've just been very happy, so I wasn't skipping anything. I was like, teach me what you have to teach me. Right. Yeah. And then the second time I went even further. It's very bizarre that it's so there. It's so easy to get to. It's just 15 seconds away. It's one of the most insane experiences that a human being could possibly encounter. Yeah. If there was a thing that you could like ride at Disneyland, it would be a mile long line to get into that fucking thing. Right. Everybody would be like, oh, I want to go.
I actually work. Yo, good morning, guys. Puff, Shaman, what up? I got some company in the house today. I have some really good friends over here. We're gonna like shoot a little footage, a documentary, and kind of like help me get exposed to the world a little bit more. So you guys are more than welcome to come in. This is kind of my normal routine. I do a live stream on YouTube while I paint. I want to get like only my real friends come here and watch me paint. Nobody likes to watch me paint. So nice. Yeah, Shaman, this is pretty cool. So if you guys don't want to be on camera, you definitely don't have to, but you definitely can be on camera if you like.
Figured that we're already.
Yeah. And so yeah, I was just getting set up, got my palette clean, was ready to get some paints on there, and I don't have a bowl soon.
I don't know with you, but I think we should do it up here.
Well, I think we should do it up here too.
Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
And maybe as far as lighting is concerned,
Can we open the shades?
Oh yeah, we got bring shades, turn this light on.
We're good.
Have some other light setups in the closet that I have.
I was thinking just natural light.
More natural light.
Yeah, natural light, and then it's so cool to have you behind like exactly what you're working on right now.
Yep, for sure.
How long have you been working on this one?
A couple of months actually. It got pushed back because I was doing some commissions, but I've already done this piece before and sold it, and I just miss it so much that I'm gonna do it again and keep it for my own collection.
How often do you repeat your artwork?
Not very often. This piece right here will be the third time I've ever painted an image twice. So I've been painting for like 13 years, 12, 13 years, and this is the third time I've repeated an image. Because there's just some images I love so much. One image I sold, well, all of them are sold, and I'm just like, oh, I really wish I had that in my collection, you know, just for me to admire and look at, you know. Especially the ones that I actually photographed this right here. So
How long does this take you to do?
Depending on, so this right here is about 120 hours, and this one right here is about 50 hours.
Okay.
You know, same size canvas, it just all depends on how much detail goes into it, but with my reader series, the lettering really takes the bulk of the time. That's why they're like the most expensive pieces I have are a part of the reader series. It's really, really tedious with the lettering and stuff.
Like, how many times have you done it? He's like 9. I'm like, maybe take a break then.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What?
Amazing.
I love Doug and the Rugrats.
That's a commission piece.
That's fantastic.
A police officer in Arizona had me do that for him. He actually got 2 of them, so he wanted both of them done before I even shipped one of them to him. So he's very, very specific.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
On
so
Instagram.
This is the same client right here. It's all his own ideas, his own concepts. I just kind of visualized it for him, but he has very detailed notes of what he wants for his art. And he says, I know, like, you do a little bit more realistic stuff, but he doesn't want that. He wanted cartoon characters, abstract skyline.
Did he want all the those universities on the shirts?
Yes, he actually attended all these schools. So this is his progression through his educational career. So it's his high school, a couple of universities he went to, and the last one is he's actually
crazy they look like
sheriff.
the courtyard.
And so that's the progression of his career.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so
They were like openly mocking.
and I don't know, they're really different. They're really not like anything I've ever done before. The description for this was very, very detailed. The parting of the sea, the boy, the types of clothing, the colors, and then he has this phrase.
I believe in God not because my family told me to,
Of your
not because the
consciousness
church
or
told
whether
me
these
to,
are
but
intelligent
His
entities in
presence
another
and working
dimension
in
you're
my life.
interacting with.
And
See,
his
that
God
is
can
what I've
see
been questioning
further
since.
down
So
the road
I was
than
told
me.
by
So
a
I
friend
will
who's done DMT a
trust
lot
him.
that after you do
I
DMT,
can't.
pay attention to the real
Oh, when he
world,
says
and if you believe that the elves are real beings that are independent of
Now
something
is this
created in your own
him?
brain,
No, this is the quote comes from
Oh, okay.
Joshua Yancey. I don't know who that guy is. But
crackhead shit. No, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
meet the
so-
elves in real life, right?
just waiting for these to dry so I
One
can
of the
varnish
things
them
in my
and get
first
them off
trip
to him.
that they kept telling me was that this is
Been
not
working
the
on
end,
another
this is not the
commission
end.
here for another friend of mine.
This is what happens when we die. Whatever.
She's getting this for her boyfriend.
It's
This is
so
a
crazy,
portrait
it's
of
not
her
the end.
boyfriend's mom.
Oh,
Directly
nice.
after the trip, we were in a
So
restaurant.
just kind of wait for this to dry.
And I
so
wasn't
can get it
liking
sent
the
out to them.
like. There's like a glow after you DMT that you kind of
You
want to.
always have this really intimate closeness in your portraits, and I really want to talk to you about
You create
that.
like a bubble. when you
Because
do it with,
like
friends
that's
and you're like,
something
oh,
when I had first
but they
seen
might
your
be our
portrait, I think the first
then
one
we
that
do
I
another
saw
one
was the one of
and there's a
Glennis,
huge
Okay.
sign.
and she's close, like in every way, and then I see a portrait like that, and they're just staring right into you. And, but that's a hallmark of your style, though, and it's so cool, man. I'm so happy that you wanted to do this.
I'm
with
happy
us.
that you guys wanted to do this. This is awesome.
So
And
cool.
it's always good to
I
see you
just
too.
I can't believe, like, oh, it's
It's been a
been
long
so
time, man.
long. I don't think I've seen you since Juneteenth.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've been doing a lot of stuff too, so.
We've been busy, both of us, and then
I think that's where I met both of you, Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was. I saw her. And was like, yeah. I've been meaning to talk. Like, oh my god. Yeah, and I've been seeing your shows on Instagram, and that you're doing all of these First Friday solo shows, and I haven't been able to make it to any. And
that's good. There's more to come. More to come.
Wait.
And then plus we're cool, so you can always come here and just check out what I'm doing.
I do want to do that.
So I did a home tour one time, and it went really well. So I think I want to do that again when the weather gets back nice.
Yeah.
And just invite people over and just hang out and talk and communicate and check out some art. So.
It's like a revisiting of the salons in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very highbrow artist and also like warm and inviting.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
I love this one.
Oh yeah, that was the Obama years.
Yeah.
So very, very subtle, but if you know it's right there, and that's all he sold us was open change, and what happened? Nothing at all. You just got a for sale sign. It's just like, I feel sorry about that, but yeah.
Is that the picture of Glennis you're talking about?
What?
No, that's
No, that one in the newspaper. Or is that not her?
No, that's a painting I did of my cousin.
There's
I
one.
know her.
So she's in a swimsuit, and she's in a swimsuit, and she has a towel that she's wrapping around her, but she's just staring at you.
Is that here? That might be here somewhere. I don't know if I have that at the gallery or not. Is that not in here? I'm pretty sure it's here. Oh, it's in the living room. It's downstairs in the living room. It's definitely here.
Do you just move them around?
Yeah. So, if I take stuff off the wall to go outside the house, I try to find something to put in that space. So they're not all just jumping up on the floor and laying around and stuff. So I try to keep them home, but I quickly run out of wall space.
You're blending.
I think blackpaint was when I first started wanting to do like nudes. It's hard to get models for what you feel comfortable in. But then I just put out a couple of things. I'm never just doing like updates for nudes, not virtuosos, not photographers or anything like that. Anybody cared to help me out? She sent me the picture. She's like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "Yes." That was good.
This is fun.
This is?
Is it?
Is that fun?
No. Another friend of mine. She lives in we're both from a little town in South Carolina. She was I've painted her twice and I've drawn her. Yeah, I painted her twice and drawn her once.
I always thought that was a Glennis, because it's like her frame and her face.
Like very, very similar features.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my camera.
Yeah, so whatever you guys need from me, feel free to walk around, go grab your stuff. I'm just stay up here for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys take your time. Take your
Oh, so
time.
these are the I wonder if these are all the ones that he's, because this is the lady's holding this.
Yes, I just finished reading Isabel Robinson. So this, I have to implement this next, and then I'm currently reading The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and I want to put that in there too. So.
So when you read a book, you put it into your art?
Yeah, my reading series is like my flagship series now, so I thought it was done like 3 times already. So I was like, because most of my series are trilogies, 3 and done. And so I did 3. I'm like, okay, that's good. And I read another book. I'm like, fuck, people gotta know about this shit. So I did 3 more. I was like, where another book. I got. So now I got like 15 installments to the Reader series, and not like as the more information I read, people aren't aware of the literature. Like, I go try to blend it into the artwork. So yeah, the Reader series is just ongoing. I think it's going to be my thing. Prince of Prussia on deck. What up, guys? Oh, you see the Reese's, bro? You got to have the Reese's for breakfast, man. Gotta have the Reese's. So yeah, just gonna sit here and chat and chill with the homies, and I don't know, they're gonna do like a little documentary about me, like just me and my art, which is fucking nice. Okay, Puff. Yes, I'm always eating, bro, but I gotta maintain my muscle mass, man. You gotta eat good for that, bro. Mm. Hey, man. What? I'm trying to eat fast so I can talk with the homies. You go die. Die from what, bro? All right, so I think that'll hold me over for a minute. Oh man. What I could do is I could open this door all the way. Let me open this too. Give a little bit more light in here. It's kind of gray out today. We got some bad weather. Not bad weather, but it's raining. Yeah, it's definitely rainy out. So a little bit of gray, a little bit overcast. If I slide this up, I'll open the door all the way. Have a little bit more room like that, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that's not too bad.
She's a musician.
Alright. So got that open. It's actually kind of warm up here, so I might even turn this off. Let's see. Oh, get this out of the way.
Okay, that's a good idea.
probably move this out the way, I guess, a little bit.
Keeping us safe.
You know, when we wear this, it's not a good deal.
I always feel good just knowing that I did whatever I could to keep the humans around me safe. But
I'll run this downstairs. I'll be right back, guys. I thought this back door real quick.
it's funny how your mindset seems to cover more things. Like
So what do you paint with usually?
Oils.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I use oil paints. A lot of oil paints.
I'm gonna bring this in here.
Nice. Alright.
I always take a while to set up things.
Oh, take your time. Take your time. You can't rush perfection.
I like that.
Patience is a virtue and all those good things. Alright. So I want to well, actually, let me find this photo. Shit.
Did you think in a lot of universities the painting studios are in the basement?
So we're going to redo this one again, guys, for my own collection. If I do put a price tag on it, it's going to be like $1 million because I don't want to sell this one again. So the first one sold a while ago, and it actually went to a really big art collector. So I know it has a very, very good home. It's going to be taken care of and preserved nicely. But I just missed this one.
Can I see? It's kind of like that one.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is a reference
Gotcha.
for it.
So that one's sold?
No. The first time I printed
okay.
it sold, but it was on a smaller canvas. I think it was probably something about the size of this one, like a 28 by 36 or something like that. But this is a 36 by 48. So I'm just making it bigger.
So where do you think you want him back up, right?
Yeah, and I'm actually wondering, could we turn the lights off just so I can get an idea? I might have to set a light up.
It's behind the door.
Oh, thank you.
Who is that?
A friend I met at the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I met him at the gym working out. Thought he was a handsome, sturdy-looking guy.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I
asked him to model for me, and he modeled. He actually came along and modeled for me, and we kind of lost contact after a couple months, and I don't really know where he's at right now. I hope he's doing fine though.
Travis, I'm gonna set up a light.
Yeah, sure.
Is it cool if I just put this?
Yeah.
I know. I always like asking people.
Hey, whatever you need to do to get it done.
So you don't even know, do you know his name?
His name was DeMarcus.
Local?
Well, we worked out at the gym in Scranton, and so he was there a few times a week. I assumed he was a local guy.
And then he just gone.
Yeah. He I told him, man, follow my social media, and like it it took me a couple of months to actually get the painting done.
Yeah.
I was working on several, and right now I'm at the point where I need to put something else on canvas. I normally don't just like having one project to work on. I like projects to be in stages.
Yeah.
And so when I photographed the image, I told him, like, I already got a couple of paintings I'm working on now, but hey man, follow my social media, and you know, I'll tag you and stuff when the art is done. And even before it got done, we lost contact. Like I say, within a couple of months, he just stopped coming to the gym, and I think I had his cell phone number, and I texted him one time, and he's like, oh, bro, you know, I've been busy, this and that. Me and my girlfriend took a trip and this and that. And then, oh, cool, man. Yeah, just checking on you. And then, never heard from him again. Nah, that wasn't weird at all, bro. Not weird at all. All green number dips. But, bebop drums and run big horns. Yo, you know they canceled Cowboy Bebop, yo? After the first season, they're not bringing it back no more. And I kind of see why, yo. Like, I don't know. I wasn't all into it like I thought I would be. I was really hyped for a live action version, but like we always say, man, it's hard to translate Japanese culture for American audience. I mean, they did well enough just in dubbing the series and giving it, you know, American voiceovers, and they should have just left it like that. But once you try to take the animation, Puff.
Oh.
I don't know, it's weird sometimes because people will hack other people's accounts and just use their name. So my really good friend in person is Puff on the beats, but he normally doesn't say stuff like that. So I'm wondering if somebody stole his name. I've been in here streaming and someone pops up with my name and start cursing me out with my own name. I'm like, dude.
This is a YouTube?
Yeah, we're live right now. Yeah, but just YouTube through the PlayStation.
Do you use Twitch as well?
Nah, I tried. A lot of people told me to try Twitch, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody hacked Puff account, so you're out of here, bro. I don't know who you are or why you're using my homie's name, but you're out of here, dude. I hate critics too, but at the same time, I'm a major Cowboy Bebop fan. So I know all the source material, and for me, it wasn't a good translation. You know what I'm saying? I think they could have did it.
Do you need help?
A little bit better.
I'm just thinking.
I said I think they could have did it.
Do you need help?
So, yeah, whoever this dude is right here, you're out of here, bro. Because you're definitely not Puff.
Oh, sorry, Travis.
That's not that. It's not that bad, that light, though.
Oh, no, but I'm just trying to get for. I'm balancing a little bit. Travis, is there an outlet over there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's
I'm gonna come up.
this.
You got it?
Get you a cord or something.
Oh no, the cord is definitely long enough.
It's right behind all this stuff behind you.
All my sticks and measuring.
Yeah.
So was this like 3 dank?
Yeah, that's the whole series right there.
I like the one with the chemical compound things.
It's nice. So that's the Complex Ion series. Complex Ion Complexion.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Pretty dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
A lot of people don't.
No, I get it though.
But yeah, you put them together and it's complexion, and it's
That's better.
it's carbon, melanin, and DNA. And all this adds to the complexion, the complex ions. One of my better concepts.
That
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, and then I had when I did the show and I posted the flyer for the complex ion, and someone's like, I hope there's some kind of chemistry or something going on in here. Then I flashed the picture, like, oh okay. I was like, yeah, there's chemical compound over here, bro. So,
Do you know what the chemical compounds are? Like, are they all?
yeah. So so like I said, the first diagram is the carbon hydrogen molecule.
Oh, they're all the same on
No.
each image.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
So
Okay.
the first one, it starts out as a seed. So if you look at all 3 of them, the first one is a very, very tight ball.
Yep.
And it's the seed. The second one is the sprout, where he's almost upright.
Yep.
And the final one is the fully erect, visualized plant, person, consciousness, whatever. And so you go through the phases of, from the very basic building block. We're carbon-based life form. So from carbon, it gets more complicated, and to the melanin molecules, which gives us our hair, eye, skin color, which gets more complex, and it goes into the THGC of the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acids, which we are. That's the memory system that continues life. So it's a growth and the complexity of the growth. And then you have in the background, I use spray paint to kind of depict the energy of the process, where the first 2 processes, you're actually absorbing energy for the growth process, and in the final stage you can produce energy. So it's a lot of little subtle things in there.
It's super like thought out.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of my better concepts. Really proud of that one, but it takes a conversation to get it for some people.
Oh yeah,
because
for sure.
So many layers to it, and so yeah. But people don't really gravitate towards that one that much.
Are you kidding me?
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I agree.
Amy actually stopped in her tracks when she was walking through the house.
Well, I was looking for the 3rd one
Yeah.
because I saw the first one, and then she showed me the second one, and then I was like, "Where's the 3rd one?" But the 3rd one was the first one that I.
I mean, yeah, and the 3rd one's
Right here.
by the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all of them, but I saw them
Not
the
in
sprout,
order.
the sprout, the growth, and then the
Yeah. But if I had them.
I think if you see them in order.
It's really. You want to do it real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Because
did.
because like I say, when I take stuff off the wall, I just put something here, put something there. Occasionally, in that spare room, I'll try to have everything in there. hydrocarbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and I forgot what the H is for the element.
That's nuts.
And then, like I say, you can see, like, he's absorbing the energies going into him. He's trying to pull it in. And here, it's more of a release. It's just like flowing out of him now. Now you can be a producer to, you know, all the energy that you gain and acquire, you can continue to produce that. It's cool. It's one of my favorite things.
Now, will you sell that as a triptych?
Yeah, it has to
Right,
go.
okay.
Yeah, I won't ever sell it separate.
Right.
It won't make sense.
No, it won't.
No. I have one really interesting client, and she said, hey, don't have it now. Can you hold it for me? Yes, I've been holding it for 2 years.
I like how it's small, like, I like
Even
that
the cabinet,
whole, it just, it was very well thought out.
Yeah,
Where did you go to school?
I did.
Cool.
That was in my first, like, nude of myself. Which, yeah, just try to keep it very tasteful. And, clean and tasteful.
Yeah.
But still impactful. So I told my girlfriend I may do another. I do topless a lot, you know. I said I might do another nude series. Oh, you always gotta paint yourself naked. Whoa, look. It's not that. It's not that I want to paint myself naked. It's that I can't find other male models who are secure enough for me to photograph them in the nude and paint them. So it's just like I model myself a lot. I know it's hard. It's tough to find male models.
Is it hard to model yourself?
It's easier to model myself, yeah. And in some instances, I pose for the model so they can see kind of what I want. And so I already have the image in my head I'm looking for, so I can pose myself pretty good. Yeah, and so like the one I'm working on now, I stood like this in that spot and holding the books, and I said, I want you to do this, but don't pose. Just kind of do it natural. And that's the hardest thing because I like to work with non-professional models, the average person, the everyday person. Everybody's somebody, and so I will approach people, hey, here's my business card, I'm an artist, would you like a model? Oh, I'm not a model, this and that, and it's like, yeah, but I see something about your features and your characteristics that I think would translate well into a piece of art. But then when people do a model for me, they get like posy, and it's just like, no, just relax. I just want a picture of you as a person, and just be natural, chill, and just relax with it. And I see that's hard for a lot of people to do when they're in front of a camera. They think they have to perform or they have to pose, and I don't really look for that in my art. I don't want the composition to look too like staged or set up for the most part. So
yeah. And it's always so hard because like real life is so much more beautiful than what's manufactured.
yes, it is. You just have to be able to capture that, and that's where I admire the photographer. Like me playing around trying to get a decent enough image for me to work with, but I know it's just like photography and videography is just like an amazing art form in itself. To have that eye, to see that, and then to translate it so that your viewers can see it the same way. Like that shit is so impressive to me, and I struggle with photography so hard. So it's just like people will be like, "Oh, can you paint this picture? Like you took that on your iPhone 6 in a bathroom somewhere. That's a terrible picture. You think that's a good? I don't see how you think that's a good picture. It's fucking terrible." And it's just like you don't even know. Have you ever heard of ISO? No, you haven't. You know what the fuck shutter speed? You're not taking good pictures. did some shit and you put a fucking filter on it. And now you think you're creative. Like, you're not. It fucking kills me. It kills me. Everybody's a damn photographer.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Look at this filter.
That's why I used to work for the newspaper and I lost my job when COVID happened. And now they just take photos with the phone. Times later.
Oh.
It's okay.
Okay, cool.
You know what? We could do it ourselves. I'm like, but can you really?
Oh, and look at, they're sinking. They're doing
Really
terribly.
bad?
Yeah.
Yep.
You've seen it.
Yep. And so I got a new position at my job. I'm workforce case management, and so I try to help people get jobs, local jobs, people who are transitioning from incarceration back to civilian life, who have a record, who don't have all the means of stable housing and transportation, but they, the court's telling them you have to work. So we try to work with these people and find them good jobs with decent employers. And I always look through all the job listings. Times always, oh, can you do this? And like, nobody wants to work for you no more, people. Nobody wants to work for the Times anymore. You suck, guys. So, oh well. But they, like I say, they did it to themselves. So.
They did.
They did it to themselves. And Scranton is a city that I'm not originally from here, so I can kind of see, like, they try to really support themselves, and you're burning your way out, yo. I watched some of my friends do a podcast called What a Week, and they had one of the writers on there. I can't
From
think of
Scranton Times?
Yeah, one of the writers.
Chris,
Kelly.
Yeah.
And he was debating Teddy.
Oh, Daniels?
Teddy Daniels.
He's nuts.
And Kelly. My homie actually got them to sit down at the same table and talk.
Wow.
And it was like, and Chris was like, oh, you set me up. You ain't tell me this what it was gonna be. But he's like, I've never met any of them.
Yeah.
Don't know him personally. And I'll tell this to him. I will tell him to his face, like, Kelly, I didn't like his attitude. Like, he had like this smugness about him. And he's like, I don't have to write the facts. I write hit pieces and opinion pieces. And that's what people want. And it's like...
Well, he does. He's an opinion writer.
Yeah, and
he's not a fact.
Yeah, he specifically said that. Like,
yeah.
I write my own opinion.
Which is, that's a totally different animal.
Yeah. And your opinion sucks, though. It's just like you seem man. Bonjour, ça va bien de la French. I do not speak French, my friend, but yo, thanks for coming in the stream. Welcome to Art and Education. If you've never been here before, check out the info bar. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, at Paintings by the Prince. Check out some more art, yo. I'm in here right now with my homies, Kelly and Amy. We're doing some live, just some beat footage stuff. Trying to make a little documentary about art and, you know what I'm saying? Just a simple Saturday. Ain't nothing too big. Just a simple Saturday. This is Black Scranton Word group chat. Now we got more Black Scranton. We have our own tags on the hand sanitizer now. It's nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very, very nice. We gotta brand everything. Nice. Should turn that phone off.
You have the volume off?
No.
Would it be okay if you put it on silent?
Yeah. I was actually I'm waiting on like one kind of important message, like some really some terrible stuff going on, and so.
Oh, if you need to keep it on for that reason, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, don't silence it if you're waiting on something.
Am I in a good place?
Yeah, you're in a good place.
He has to back up a little.
I'm wondering, yep, that's exactly. I'm going to just position you, just for eye lines.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to give you this guy. I actually think you're going to like it. So this is a lavalier microphone, but it's magnetic, and it just looks like I think it looks kind of like a Fitbit.
Nice.
So just place it,
Somewhere like that?
somewhere there. left or right? Whatever feels most natural.
Maybe higher, lower?
A little higher.
I think a little bit higher, tilted toward you because the microphone is right here. So we'll pick up the best audio. Yep.
Like that, maybe?
I think in toward your chin a little bit more, like just toward your face.
This is pretty cool though. I like this.
It's a strong magnet.
I just watched this guy, he has this YouTube channel about magnetism, electromagnetism and gravity or something.
Is that close enough?
Yes, that's good.
Yep.
And then, could you go to your right just a little bit? Oh, yeah. Do you want a hand moving up? Okay. Awesome. And then,
B-roll always has the most fun. It's behind the scenes, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna polish it up and make it look real nice for everybody else, but this is the cool part. The actual making of the project is the cool part. You know what I'm saying? The paintings look nice, but did y'all see what went into it? See, that's the best part about the live stream. Y'all can see what goes into it. B footage is always the best part.
Indeed.
Would you ladies like a water or something?
I'm good.
No?
I'm good. Thank you. Finishing setup. Yeah, I'm happy. Did you see frame?
No, I mean, I could see it. Kind of have an idea what it looks like.
With your eyeballs. Okay.
So I'm gonna ask the questions. So you're gonna look at me.
Okay.
And we're just gonna have a conversation.
Sure.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm rolling.
Do you want to give a clap?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. I'm still futzing around with this. Good.
They're both rolling or no?
They are both rolling and I'm just hoping focus one more time. Okay.
All right.
Ready when you are.
So Travis, I want you to say and spell your name, both first and last name.
So my name is Travis Prince, Travis Prince.
How old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
Okay. All right. Tell me about where you grew up and what brought you to this point. Just a little bit of background.
So where I grew up, I have a pretty eclectic childhood, almost like military, a little bit, because I grew up in a couple different states. So my earliest memories are of Philadelphia. So elementary, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I lived in Philadelphia. But my birth certificate says Atlanta, Georgia. I have no memories of Atlanta. I was just born there. My parents moved to Philly. And in about second or third grade, I moved from Philadelphia to South Carolina to live with my grandmother, who raised me basically till adulthood. And but right after high school, I left South Carolina and came back to Pennsylvania. Then went back to South Carolina. Then I went to Virginia, and then North Carolina, and then here again, back in Pennsylvania. So yeah, my childhood was pretty cool because I saw the culture of the North and the culture of the Southern states, which I think it gave me a more well-rounded outlook on life, personality types, lifestyles. I did have some military family. I had an aunt in Georgia for several years One of my aunts was in the Midwest in Colorado and far west in Washington State. So a couple summers I would go, stay with them and experience even more different cultures and, types of different ways that people live. And so as a kid early on, I think I had a wider view on our country and culture than most kids did. And so even now it's hard for people to like pinpoint where I'm from when I speak. When I'm down south, some people think I'm a northerner, but when I'm up here, people think, they can kind of hear it a little bit, but it's not very, I don't have like a very distinct accent from north or south. So, but I came back to Pennsylvania in 2012 and been here ever since. Came here for work. I was in Virginia and found a really sweet job up here in Scranton. And so I traveled from Virginia to Scranton throughout the week. I would stay in Scranton for the week and just go home on the weekends, and I just wind up staying up here.
Is that the job that you're currently at?
No. That job was weird. We were doing electrical work at the Geneva House. They actually were renovating their heating and air system and putting in all new heating units and new equipment on the roofs. And I don't know, the contract, a friend of a friend told me about it in Virginia. He said, hey, I found this really good job and they're paying good money, man, but you gotta travel. I'm like, travel how far? He was like, Pennsylvania. I'm like, how far is Pennsylvania from here? He's like, about 5 hours. I'm like, what are they paying? They were paying me like $20 an hour, $100 gas per diem, $100 food per diem, and they had us staying at the Radisson. Just doing like some simple work, electrical work at the Geneva House. And I was like, this is a pretty good gig, and so I worked that job for a few months, and I wound up meeting a girl up here. We started dating, and the contract was up, but my supervisor is like, oh, we're gonna take a 2-week break. Then after a 2-week break, I got a job lined up in New Jersey. Then I got a job lined up in Philly, and never heard back from this guy. Never. A couple of other guys were actually working from out of town, and then when I got to Scranton, I'm like, this is a pretty nice sized city. How come you can't find independent contractors from within the city and pay them? And this was, like I say, 2011, 2012, and pay them this amount of money to do this easy job. And it was just weird. Like, after the contract was up, they just kind of disappeared. I was already dating someone, and she's like, oh, you can just stay and find a different job, I guess. And I was like, cool. I've been here ever since.
And you like it here?
Yes. I like the people. I like the cities. I like the art scenes. Don't like the winter times. The winter times just stretch on and on and on, and it's just like just let up a little bit. Winter and this. But other than that, I do enjoy being here.
Okay. What's your earliest memory of art?
My earliest memory of art is coloring a He-Man coloring book. This is probably before I was even in school. Maybe like 3, 4 years old. I can remember coloring this coloring book, and those are all my earliest memories. Are me using crayons and markers and coloring books. And I can remember when I did get in like kindergarten or first grade, I had a coloring book. I done colored every page in the book, and I wanted to do something, so I took a piece of paper and I drew the page from the coloring book and then colored it again, or attempted to, So yeah, my earliest art memories are just He-Man coloring books.
So you were in Philadelphia, and there's lots of museums, there's lots of graffiti. Did any of that strike you?
Yes, and that was the first culture shock. Even as a young child, when I moved to Hartsville, South Carolina, I was second grade, 7 or 8 years old, and it's like, wow, you guys don't have a lot of tall buildings around here. Wow, there's no graffiti, and literally none. And it's like in the city, it's there, it's everywhere. It's public street art, and you can't miss it. And it's even if it's just a Sharpie marker tag on a gate that's closed over a storefront, like it's everywhere. And when I got to South Carolina, it was like I don't know it, and I couldn't express it to anyone else because they never experienced northern cities. And it's just like, wow, you guys really don't have any graffiti down here at all. Like it was so weird. And then I remember too, like in about middle school, I started seeing some tags around the city, and this guy, he just had this one tag, Sundance, and that was all he would put, Sundance. And you would see it I saw it maybe 4 different places, but from far sides of the town, like he knew the city. But it was just like, that's the only person I've ever seen tag anything, Sundance.
Did you ever get involved in that, graffiti and tagging, or no?
Oh, graffiti, yeah, definitely had to try my hand at it. Wasn't ever really good at it. Always tried to come up with a hot style myself, but always had to copy someone else's style. Like, creating a completely new letter style is very hard, and I admire graffiti artists. But yeah, definitely grabbed first can of spray paint I ever seen that I can get that can, and I had my tag was Venom. And so I had this sloppy little tag, VNOM, and then I draw a big circle around it. So I did that a few times. I definitely had to tag some stuff.
What was an event in your life that shaped how you see the world today? Did something happen and it changed you?
Oh, I was 19 years old. I was still in Philadelphia, 2001, 9/11. And I have never looked at the world the same ever since. I think there's several like world altering events that have happened in my lifetime, and that was definitely one of them. I think 9/11, the death of Tupac Shakur, the rise of the internet access to the public, and now this COVID thing. And so these are like, I throw Tupac in there because his death was world changing. Like they have statues of this guy in Germany. You know, it was something how his music was able to speak to a greater, broader audience. And that whole East Coast, West Coast beef with him and Biggie, it was so publicized and such a media frenzy. And this is before social media and all of this stuff. And he was the James Dean of my time, and his death affected people globally. And I think that was like a shift in hip-hop music culture, and that's a global thing. And so I always throw him in there.
But what about Biggie?
I respect Biggie because Biggie was able to reach the exact same status, if not a greater status, than Shakur with only 2 albums, you know, and Tupac did several albums, movies, poetry books, and, you know, he was a true artist. But Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G., he came up just as fast and just as hard in very short amount of time and had that same level of acknowledgement. And so I really respect him for what he was able to accomplish in such a short lifetime. Like, and like I say, without even having like such a large music catalog or movies or anything like that. So he was a real powerhouse. I definitely respect what he did. But I don't know. It was something special about Tupac. He wasn't one of a kind, but he was like one of a kind for his time. So
I mean, I see the Tupac. You have a Tupac in the other room, I think, or downstairs. But you have his words, right?
Those are my words.
Oh, those are your words.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see how that's affected your art. What about 9/11? How did that affect your art in any way?
Yes. So if you look deeply at dozens of my paintings, hold on for 1 second. I throw this in there. 9/11 was an inside job. It's in a lot of my art, and you have to look for it sometimes, but it's definitely there. And the year before 9/11, I read a book from David Icke, The Biggest Secret. He talked this.
Give me 1 second. Do you want to check this and make sure, because he got up and sat back down?
I'm sorry.
That's
Oh
okay.
no, we're good. I'm on manual, so.
I just want to make sure that it's still good.
Still in focus. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So tell me about the 9/11 in your art.
So yeah, a year before the actual event, I read a book from David Icke called The Biggest Secret, and he talked about a bunch of different government conspiracies. They weren't theories; they were actual conspiracies. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. And he tried to break down this global cabal of individuals that really were the movers and shakers. And he said, you know, these people will do what he called problem, reaction, solution. They will create a problem which will scare the population, and they would, now they say to the government, we need to do something, but they already have, so that's their reaction, but they already have the solution for it themselves. So they create a problem to implement this new constraints that they want anyway, their agenda. And so I was reading, I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy, man. And prior to that, I kind of, like, at the 9/11, I was 19. So when I was about 16, I started reading about occult stuff, trying to figure out who are the Masons and what is this really about, you know. And then you get into the Rosicrucians and all this other stuff. Then I read like Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, and he talked about the Priory of Sion. And I'm like, all these weird round table esoteric groups. And then I started reading more government conspiracies, like David Icke's work. And then I got into Alex Jones, and then 9/11 happened. And actually, I was 19, Philadelphia, muddling around, not really doing anything. At that time, I was like, I gotta figure out something to do with my life. You know, I'm just wasting time out here. Wasn't even really doing any art then. Just beating up and down the streets. And so I said, don't have a lot of money. How can I get some more education? Something, a degree or in something. Military. So I figured I'll just join the Army, try to put my little 4 or 6 years in. Hopefully they can help fund some schooling. I can get an engineering degree or something. And so I can find a career to grow in, you know, early. So I'm not 35 with no work experience, no education or anything. So I figured, you know, Army may be the best way to go. I have plenty of military family. I've already seen, you know, the advantages of the military. But so, and if you guys remember, 2000, 2001 was kind of quiet. There wasn't really any big global skirmishes or wars or anything like that going on at that time. You know, we were really focusing on global warming and climate change. And I think Bush, we did something over there in Kosovo. We had like a small skirmish with Kosovo or something in the UN. But other than that, it was kind of quiet. And I said, well, this may be the perfect time to join the Army. And so got a recruiter. The ASVAB passed that with I was in the high 80 percentile on my test scores, like an 88 or something like that. And I don't know, I think like in that group that I tested with, there's like 4 of us who actually got that or above. I think only like 3 other people had a higher score than I did. And so they were like, dude, you're pretty smart, man. You know, you probably won't ever see combat. You can do like logistics, communications. you can definitely do something else. You probably won't have to see combat. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, yeah, all right, let's go. And so a couple more weeks out, and it was 2 weeks before I had to go to New Jersey to get sworn in, where I actually become a GI and sign my name to the government. In that 2 weeks, 9/11 happened. And so from my understanding of the world at that time, the material that I've been reading at the time, and my skepticism in the government, as soon as that event happened, I did not answer any more calls from my recruiter. I just went completely silent because I knew that we were going to war. This is going to be something big and something very bad. And no matter what you tell me about logistics and communications, you're gonna have me in the desert somewhere. And I'm like, I'm not about to do that. And so 9/11 altered the course of my life as for my career options that I thought I had, my educational options that I thought I had at that time. I completely set them aside because of this event, and I just continued to work regular. I was a manager at Checkers at the time, and so I just like, I would rather just stay here and do this job instead of getting involved in this thing. And some people may not agree with this, but I do not want to fight for this country. It's like I will serve in your military on an intellectual basis, but to actually have to go into combat and maybe kill someone else or get killed or injured or wounded myself, I don't want to give that much of myself to this country as a job, something that I personally signed up for. And so after 9/11, I really, really, really went hard in a self-education course. And this is when I started to read beyond my normal subjects. I'm a big sci-fi fan. I love sci-fi and fantasy. Stephen King is one of my favorite writers. Dean Koontz is one of my favorite authors. Orson Scott Card, Frank Herbert. That's my type. That was all my type of stuff. Lord of the Flies, The Great Gatsby. I love those stories. But then after that, like, well, there's something that we're all missing here, And I definitely wouldn't taught political science in school. So I just tried to read more and understand like international politics and like who does what and where is the seat of power at actually, because it seems like we have some type of major event like every generation. There's always something. Why can't we stop this thing called war when we're supposed to be so civil now? We have so much knowledge and understanding, and that's what it comes down to. You just figure out that they're not going to stop because you learn things like the military-industrial complex. You learn things like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, and you begin to get disenfranchised with what you understand as voted officials, and so I just went on this whole thing where for a couple years, me and my friend found every single documentary on 9/11 that we can. And throughout the week, my friend would get 100 blank DVDs. This is when we still use DVDs. So my friend would get 100 blank DVDs, and I would get 100 blank DVDs. And he would burn 50 copies of, we'll do 2 documentaries apiece. 50 of one and 50 of one, and so we would come out with 4. So I'll do 2, he'll do 2. And so I would burn 50 copies of 9/11 Mysteries. And then I would burn 50 copies of The Fall of the Republic. And he would burn 50 copies of Vaccine Dangers and 50 copies of Terror Storm. And then we would take these 200 DVDs on the weekend and we would go to the flea markets or to college campuses and hand them out for free. And people, what are you doing? It's information. Take it, like it, love it, leave it, throw it in the trash, But if you do watch it, don't watch it by yourself. get your mom, your dad, your cousins, your neighbors, your friends, everybody sit down and watch this together and see if we can all get a better understanding, not just from the mainstream news media that beats us over the head with the same scripted cast for everything every time. And so that was because of 9/11. Trying to figure out like how this thing really happened, who organized it, who orchestrated, who funded this thing, because it was so many parts that didn't make sense that our government told us. Even the 9/11 Commission report, they don't even talk about Building 7 at all, and that's a real anomaly how that building collapsed. The towers themselves are an anomaly how they came down. The process of cleanup after was a real anomaly how they did that. You have so many different pieces of evidence, from beams that looked like they were cut with shape charges, molten iron, the simple fact that the buildings came down at free fall. I've written songs about this. I have music about this. That's how bad I wanted people to understand. A 120-story building doesn't collapse to the ground in 6 or 7 seconds. And then it doesn't even leave a building. It's disintegrated into powder that's dispersed throughout. Like, the building's damn near evaporated. There is something really weird happened on that day, and it made me look at the world different, and it really affected me. And I try to, it's not a hard fact that 9/11 was an inside job, but more than likely, the least I would say is that our government allowed it to happen. Maybe something like D-Day and Pearl Harbor, like, they kind of knew, but they said, well, if we do this, we can go to war for 20 years and then pull out, and, you know, the military can just make all this money, you know, because why is war so good? Because everything is destroyed. All your armaments, your ammunition, your food rations, your tanks, everything is, you build it so it can be destroyed, so you can build some more, and so you can destroy it, so you can make more and destroy it, and keep the whole process going. And then you destabilize countries, and then you can go in there and get efforts to rebuild countries and democratize different people, and it's just like, this thing is really weird. And 9/11 reshaped our, even as a 19-year-old kid, like, I really didn't have a major perspective on how the world works. So 9/11 gave me my first real perspective of how the world runs and why we can't seem to get out of war.
Okay.
Long answer, I know.
Well, I mean, obviously it was something that really affected you. So,
Yes.
And it is in your art. So, I saw it there, but I also saw it downstairs somewhere.
Yes.
I'm not
It's
sure.
in a lot. It's in a lot. Every time I can squeeze it in, I put it in there. I have it on bumper stickers on my cars, and every 9/11,
Oh, really?
yeah, I get, man, fuck you, you're not American. It's like, do you do the research, you know? And I had a conversation recently with someone and talking about 9/11. I was like, yeah, but Building 7. She's like, what? And this is an older woman. Like, yeah, Building 7. What about it? Like, oh, you didn't know? Some people don't even know it came down. It was like, it was a really weird day. That was a really weird morning. And then 20 years later, we pull out of the Middle East, and that's a whole nother debacle. And then they come right back at the same people we thought we were pushing out. They came right back in within a week. And so it's like, so what did we do for the 20 years just now? Just a couple $1 trillion just go, you know? Okay.
So this is going to be totally changing.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you develop your art style? And I mean, I see that you're very, you know, you think a lot. Did that affect your art style? Like, we talked about the one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so tell me how that all plays together.
Well, the development of my art style has really just come to a point where I'm kind of fine-tuning it. So I've been, like I said, I've been interested in art my whole life, ever since a small child. The first time I ever tried at art, I was in 7th grade. So all through elementary, I'm the art kid. I can just draw. I can look at something and I can pretty much copy it and make it look pretty good. We had the Trapper Keepers, and everybody wanted bubble letters on their name. Give me 50 cents, I'll draw your name on it. So I've been making money off my art for as long as I can remember. And I was just always the art kid. And I got in 7th grade. Had the best art teacher in 7th grade, middle school. It was her first year teaching right out of college. She was like 24, 25 years old, like full of fire, loved kids, like that passion was like, it was there. And I don't know, she was the best art teacher ever. But, so.
Do you remember her name?
Her name was Baker, but she's Hoffman now. We still talk, we still friends to this day.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
And where was this?
South Carolina. Okay. So it was Cindy Baker, but now she's Hoffman. But so yeah, and in her class, we maybe like the first week of class, she was like, well, if you have your own personal sketch pads or sketchbooks, bring them in, and so we can see what each other is doing. And this one girl, Marjorie Smith, opened her sketch pad, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my God, this girl can draw better than, it's a girl, and she can draw better than, like, I'm looking at her stuff, and I'm like, blown away, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta try. Now I have to try. Because I'm the art kid, you know. I'm always the art kid. I'm not going to let some girl, like, draw better than me. Like, her shading and her lines, it was different. Her technique was advanced. It was more advanced than mine. And I saw it immediately. And so, yeah, 12 years old, middle school, 12, 13 was the first time I tried to draw. So that really affected my style of art right then. But luckily I had like I say, the best art teacher. And so I had her for 7th grade, 8th grade. I wound up going to what they call a magnet school for high school. They take the brightest kids from, I think it was 3 or 4 counties, and they packed us all in one school together. Like my first year of high school, our entire student body was 106 kids. That was the whole school. And so that was a summer I stayed in Washington State. I remember I started 9th grade a week later because of my flight from Washington. We had it scheduled a little bit weird, and I didn't make the first week of school. So I was like, dang, I was already supposed to go like to the cool school with the smart kids. I already missed the first week, and everybody already making connections, everything. I have to come in like a week later. And so got to school, and of course one of my electives was art. And going to art class, the same art teacher. She applied for the job at the new school and got the position. And as soon as I stepped in art class, I was like, Miss Baker, she was like, Travis? I was like, oh my God, yo. So I had the same art teacher, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. And so she really had a major influence on my technical approach towards art. And so after high school, like I said, I really didn't do a lot for a long time. I was a knucklehead. And so when I got back into art.
How old would you say you were when you got back into art?
I was in my early, mid-20s, maybe like 25. And I don't know, it's just one day I was so bored. Like, I could not think of anything to do. And I had everything. I had video games, I had cars, I had friends, I had girls I could hang out with. And it was like, I don't know, it was like this numb sensation, like I have nothing to do with my life right now. And I don't know, just a spark, like, well, you haven't drawn anything in a while, and it's like, you know what, maybe I should draw something. And I was like, nah. I think I'm gonna paint something. And so as soon as that thought hit me, I immediately just stood up, grabbed my keys, got in the car, went to the hobby store, and got a Bob Ross. Still have this right here. This came out my Bob Ross starter paint set. And that's the first thing I got. And I came home and I'm like, okay, now what? I was like, shit. this anime had just came out, Afro Samurai. So I had a DVD. I was like, I'm gonna paint Afro Samurai. So I just had this little 12 by 14 inch canvas or something, and I just drew Afro Samurai and I painted it. And then for like a couple years, I just painted video game characters and comic book characters, and just emulating other people's style, not even trying to do anything of my own, just like recreating cool stuff that I thought looked cool. And then I met my mentor when I moved to Virginia, and I got to Virginia and was trying to find like a little art base or art community, and wound up coming across Liberty Town Workshop, and I met Bill Harris, and I saw some of his art. I said, man, it's pretty good art, man. I would love to be able to do that. He was like, oh, you got some, you're a painter? I said, yeah. You got some art? I said, yeah. Matter of fact, I think I had that in a different one with me. And I showed him. He was like, what is this? Some video games or something? I'm like, yeah. He was like, you freehand this? I said, yeah. And you paint this by yourself? I said, yeah. First off, man, you need to stop copying people's stuff. You need to come up with your own stuff. He's like, you good. He's like, get a camera, take pictures, and paint pictures. Don't paint other people's stuff. He's like, I see you can paint. He's like, I can't teach you how to paint, but I can show you a different way of painting. He's like, come take my class this Friday. Just sit in, see if you like it, and if you do like it, we'll talk about you joining the class and getting some art. I'm like, okay. So I went to his class one Friday. As soon as I got there, hey, everybody, this is Travis. He's going to be sitting with us today. He throws this canvas in front of me, and it was this bowl of fruit. He already had it sketched out. He handed me this picture of a bowl of fruit, a clear glass bowl with an apple, with 2 apples and an orange in it. So here's your reference photo. Here's your canvas. I already got it sketched out. Here's your paint palette. Now look, you don't have white or black on here because you don't need those right now. But what I want you to do is, you're going to do an underpaint. And I'm like, whoa. I thought I was just going to sit here and kind of like watch and see how. He was like, if you're sitting here, you might as well be working. So do this. And I'm like, okay. So I did what he told me to do. And at the end of class, he was like, all right, you got 15 minutes. All right, everybody. All right, see you next week, Travis. I'm like, all right, I'll see you next week. So I came back the next Friday. All right, now what I want you to do to this painting now is now we're going to add this. We're going to work with some midtones. We're going to use these colors right here. And I'm like, all right, so I did that for the class. All right, we got about 15 minutes. All right, everybody. All right, see y'all next week. So I came back the third week. Class was 2 to 4. No. His Friday classes were 4 to 6. And so I get in there. I said, hey, Bill, before we start, can we talk about like me joining your class? Can I? Because I don't want to like get too many sessions behind and have to pay you like a lump sum real quick. I was like, I'd rather like pay class by class if we're gonna do it like this. He's like, look, I do pretty good with the classes and stuff, man. If I have 1 or 2 students who don't pay for classes, it's not a big deal. He's like, you don't need to tell everybody that you're not paying for classes, but he's like, if you want to pay me, you paint and you continue to paint and you don't stop painting. And that's all you got to do. And I've been painting ever since. But with my middle school and high school art teacher, their instruction, and his instruction, I actually studied under him for about 2 years. The 2 years I was in Virginia, they definitely gave me a technical style. And so I know how to approach a piece of art technically, the materials that I'm going to use, and how to kind of get a composition correct. And so once I figured that out, and I left Virginia, and now I'm back on my own again. And so this is 2012 when I moved here. And so I'm trying to keep my word to my mentors, like, I gotta keep painting, gotta keep painting. So for years, I just painted pretty stuff. I just wanted things to look beautiful that people can admire, you know. And it was actually my reader series that started the more complex aspects of the art. And I don't know, I never really thought it would go there, but I just wanted to make like beautiful paintings and just like really cool looking art that was my own. And so after a while, that part of it kind of faded away a little bit. And like I say, the more I read and the more I read and the more I read, it's like, how can I be creative? You know, like really, really be creative, not just paint something that looks pretty. Like almost anyone can do that, can paint something that looks pretty. But is that being a true creative? And so I felt like I needed something to make my art stand apart. And so I started trying to conceptualize concepts and bigger themes to put in my art. And something came from my love of books and my love of art. And the first piece I did that I would say is the foundation of my reader series, I actually sold it years ago. So it was a picture I did of me at this old coal crusher over in, where was that at? Sugar Notch or somewhere. And I'm sitting there and I was holding like a newspaper. And so I photographed that. And so I went to go paint that, and because I did like the composition, it looks nice. And so I say, well, you can't really read the words on a newspaper because, you know, the distance. What if I change the words on there and put something else up there? Something that can, like, spark a conversation if somebody actually reads and like, why did you write that? And so I was watching some documentaries at the time. One of them was called The Obama Deception. And so I just wrote that on there, The Obama Deception, as like the headline on the newspaper. And then this was right around the time when everybody was complaining about the new TSA and travel and all the body scanners and all this stuff. So I put TSA, and then this is when the assault rifle gun ban was a really big debate early on. So I put, you know, gun ban. So I just had all these little different bullet points on there. And that's pretty good. Kind of like that. And so I did some more just like pretty paintings, and I thought that I need to revisit this thing about trying to put the words into the art. And so I think that's where I really started to like find my style of art, and even I call my show Art and Education. And so I think that's the style that I've tried to create for myself, where there is some type of message in the art itself. There is something that you can extrapolate and learn from the piece. And so in the past 6 or 7 years, I think I've tried to take it past the technical aspects of building a painting and delve more into the conceptualizations and what does the piece mean? What does it have to offer to the viewer? And just still trying to play around with cool ideas and concepts now.
What is the main thing you want the viewer to get out of your art? One main thing.
Being smart is cool. You can be cool and be smart at the same time.
And we talked about your reader series, and you said that you you had like 3 and then you decided you needed to revisit it. How many how many are in the actual reader series?
I I think there's about 15 installments right now. Plus, I don't really count 2 pieces. I do have one painting of a young lady reading a book, but I don't really like say that that's actually a part of the reader series. And then the first piece, the one of me with the newspaper, I don't call that a part of the reader series either. It definitely is the foundation of it, and it's where the broader idea came from. But I still don't call that one a part of it. The reader series to me is all the paintings that I have of African Americans reading books written by African Americans.
Oh, I didn't realize they were all written by.
Yes, and that is the reader series. There's about 15 paintings in that series.
Sweet. So, what is your biggest hope as an artist?
My biggest hope as an artist is that the legacy of my art can live on after I'm not here anymore. That I can compile a big enough collection of art that I can still speak to people when I'm not here. And if you examine my art and study it, you can kind of see who I was as a person. And for it to, I want my art to be taken care of and just appreciate it. You know, I want to be a Da Vinci where 500 years from now, someone is still like, that's pretty cool. We need to preserve that. You know, and a lot of artists don't reach that point, but that is the dream of all artists. I just want the legacy of my art to last and be around and be as much as a positive influence for generations to come.
How many paintings have you made over your, like, since you've been doing this, do you think?
I've lost count. Because I do, how many paintings have I created? I would say I'm getting close to the ballpark of about 300 actual pieces of art that I've made. I do a lot of commission work. In the past couple years, my commissions have picked up a lot. I try to keep my prices reasonable so that as many people can afford my art as possible because it means something to them. And so I've been fortunate, and I do a lot of paintings. So
where do you have a piece of art that you're really proud it's hanging there?
Here in my home, I'm proud of my own art. I'm proud of the time that I put into it, and I like looking at it. Yeah.
Good. What organizations are you involved in? I know you're involved in a lot in Scranton.
So I'm employed with a nonprofit organization, Outreach Center for Community Resources. It was formerly EOTC, and it's been around for about 30 years, and it's the name of the organization really describes and embodies what we do. We are resources for the community, and if our community needs help with anything, we try to help as much as we can, from parenting classes, GED classes and tutoring, clothesline for men, dress for success with women, job searches, resume buildings, supervised visits for parents who have lost custody of their children, incredible years learning programs for parents who are at risk of losing their children, and just trying to keep our families together, keep our community together. And people who have made bad decisions or fallen on hard times, try to help them get back on their feet and be a productive member of society. And so that's what I get to do and get paid for it, which is pretty cool. And so that's my regular 9 to 5. But
does that help is it for anyone that, or is it, because you were saying the prison thing?
Oh, this is for anyone in the Tri-County area.
Oh, wow.
So not just people who have had run-ins with the law. Like I say, we help alcoholism, drug addicts, families in general. If you don't have diapers, come holler at us. If you have a job and you you don't have transportation, we give you bus tickets. We just try to help as much as we can.
What did you say it's called?
Outreach Center for Community Resources. And nobody hardly knows, we're this diamond in the rough, but the people who know about us, they understand like we are really there for them. Really there for them.
We just looked at each other while you were saying this, because I always knew what you, like, I knew that you worked for them, but I didn't know the extent of it. And is it okay if I actually just jump in with a question?
Yeah.
So, it is clear, you clearly made a very conscious choice to work for this organization. And after hearing so much of your backstory, like, I know you, like, we're buds, so it's like, I didn't know so much of that backstory, but it seems like all of the choices that you make, how you put your art out into the world, the message you put out with your art, and what you do, like what you get paid for in your 9 to 5, they all align.
Yes.
And it was, can you talk to us about that conscious choice and the through line of education? Because like this, it just seems like you're putting it all out there for people to receive and like benefit from.
Yeah.
And could you look at Amy when you do it first?
So I bought this house in 2018, and I decided to take some time off from the workforce and really focus on my art. And once again, really try to be creative, you know, which is, I just listened to a guy talk about creativity and how it's difficult, and to hear him explain it, he kind of like vocalized how I felt internally about this creative process and how difficult it is. So I took a year off from working just to try to understand myself enough so that I can put it into art. And so when I decided to go back to work, I told myself I'm going to do something meaningful. And if I can't find a job doing something meaningful, I'll just continue to be a starving artist. And so looking for employment, I tried to get into the prison system, like counseling maybe, or like Scranton counseling or something like that. I was looking into areas like that, or something in the school system where I can be an art instructor. And those are kind of like falling through. And then a friend of mine told me about a position, and she said, hey, there's this really cool nonprofit organization, and they're looking for someone to give art lessons to kids. And she said, it's a part-time job. They don't pay much. I'm like, that's good. It's all good. It's art and it's for kids. I'm down with that, you know. And so I met with the supervisor at Outreach, and the interview went really well. Well, we got 2 other people that we're looking at too, so I'll call you in a couple days and let you know what you say. And so they gave me the spot, and I realized like I felt good there, you know. I felt good there, and it was the work unit is like a family unit almost, and you can tell these people, everyone there really cares what they do. They care about the people they serve, and they really care about doing their job the best that they can. And so like my first assignment was, there's a housing complex called Skyview, and on Tuesday afternoon they have a on-site community center, and we would go up there for 2 hours with any kids from the complex who wanted to come. And the first hour we would help them with their homework, the math, spelling, all their quizzes and stuff. In the second hour we would instruct them through some type of art project. And I loved it. It was the coolest thing ever. And then they started giving me a couple of other little assignments to do at the office. But it came to a point where I was kind of in a financial pinch. And I told my supervisor, I was like, hey, sorry about this, but I can't do part-time anymore. I think I may be looking for a different job. And it was killing me so bad. But I found a job at a factory doing maintenance work because I can do electrical, and they were gonna start me off at $22 an hour with a guaranteed raise in 6 or 9 months or something. And I was like, ugh, I'll do it for the money, you know. And so my first day of work at this new job in the plant, the supervisor from outreach called. She said, "Hey, Travis, we talked to some of our grant writers. We pulled some more money. We got enough funding for another full-time employee. You need to come work for us." Hey, plant manager, I probably won't be back tomorrow. And so I've been at outreach ever since. And my first position was program assistant, like a flunk. Anything that needs to be done, I'm the guy to do it. You know, from childcare to art lessons to copying and sending emails, data entry, prison assessments. I was doing all of that stuff, and I loved it because I was learning a lot, and I had something different to do every day, and it was all positive work, and I could see like the direct impact of my work on the community. Like that felt really good. And then earlier this year, the lead center had another position open up for a full-time employee. So I applied for that, and now I'm the workforce case manager, and I try to help people get employed. And so in the interview, my new supervisor is explaining to me explicitly, like, we work with rough people, you know, and the only reason that we're able to bring on another full-time employee because we're going for an 8-year grant so that we can serve juveniles in the justice system, because there's no programs in the counties for this at all. And you have, you know, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids who get tossed aside because there's no support system. And, you know, the mother's dead and the father's doing 12 years fed time, and this kid is out there in the world by himself with no help, no guidance. And so we're going to try to really serve this demographic of our city. And so one of the questions she asked me, she was like, "Why do you think you would fit for this position?" And I said, "I am these kids." You know, this is me. I'm not squeaky clean, and I've had my run-ins, and I've bumped my head around in the streets a lot. But I know, like, if you have a little bit of guidance, a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of discipline, everybody can make it, and everybody can be productive. And so, like, I feel like the role that I'm playing now is something that that my entire life has been building me up to. So I appreciate my employment. I appreciate the organizations I work for, and I think it's a good fit for me.
Now, what are you involved with Black Scranton?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, another nonprofit organization that I'm a member of, a volunteer board member of the Black Scranton Project, which was started by a good friend of mine, Glennis Johns. It was her college graduating thesis, I think, and about the positive impact of African Americans on the Scranton city and the greater region itself. And Joe Biden is famous for saying a bunch of weird things, like you know, interracial jungle, and there weren't any black people around. But Glennis did her research, and black people were here, and they did contribute, and they did help Scranton grow. And so she just wants to catalog and preserve these individuals who actually contributed. And now we are contributing to the growth of the area as well. And so she asked me to be her executive art director for Black Scranton back in, wow, that was 2018 too. A lot happened that year. But I gladly agreed, and we've made a lot of progress in a short amount of time. A lot of progress in a short amount of time. And we have a lot more goals to accomplish. But we do have some really big plans and some really big goals that we set for the future. And we acquired a space for the center that we want to have, and we try to implement our Juneteenth celebrations each year, and hopefully this thing would just grow and be as productive as any other nonprofit and offer a space that's kind of missing. And,
have you noticed it growing?
Oh yeah, our following is getting bigger. Our funding is getting bigger. We acquire more donors, and that's the only thing is we're starting literally from the ground up. And so the main thing is funding right now is so that we can build the type of place that can produce the individuals that we want to see.
The Northeast Project, the Northeast Art Project. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, so that's Ryan Nat and a couple of other teachers of art around here, and they're like a big mural group. And so Ryan, I'm not like an official member of the Northeast Art Project, but I'm definitely like a team player with them. I support everything they do, and I was actually a part of one of their last projects they did, but public art and just trying to make the cities beautiful and make art cool again, you know, and try to get more people involved in it. And you can see sometimes some towns around here who really invest in their art, and it's like Pittston. You drive through Pittston, their little city is beautiful, and you have it's an artsy little town, and it's like in between Scranton and in between Wilkes-Barre, and they have more art than both of us combined, and we're both bigger than they are. And it's like, why don't we fund the arts like that? And so the Northeast Art Project is that organization that tries to find the funding for the art, so we can have more public art events and have, you know, access to it just in our daily lives and make it a part of our daily lives.
That's not part of the Street Art Society, is it?
No, that's a different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you worked on any of the murals?
So yeah, we actually got a grant from the county to do a mural on the outreach office building, which is the weirdest thing. Like, we have this one wall of our building that's perfect. It's just really straight, even, like white blank wall. And Ryan Nat from Northeast Art Project is like, dude, you should put a mural on that thing. And so Lackawanna County had some art grants for, I can't exactly remember the title of the grant, but it was something about COVID and the impact of COVID on our lives and how can we like all come together to make it through this. And it just wanted like art projects that involve something like that. And so Ryan mentioned it to me. I mentioned it to our grant writer at Outreach, and she's like, hey, I'll write a grant for you. You got some ideas? And I was like, yeah, we got some ideas. And so my idea for our mural was, I didn't want it to have anything to do with COVID, really. You know, I think this is a time in history that should definitely be understood, analyzed, but not like, I don't know, like made into such a important moment, you know. And so my idea was having a family blowing bubbles, and it's like, how much more nostalgic can you be? What else, what other memory do we all have, you know? And that's that one thing that when you see kids blowing bubbles with their parents, it's just like, we all remember that, most of us, you know. And it's a good memory, and it'll give you that warm and fuzzy sensation. And I think that to override all of this, we all need to just remember, like, life is good, things are good, and you know, and the simple fact that they're blowing bubbles with no mask on, and they're outside in the open, and they're laughing and having fun. Like, when people drive by and see that mural, they don't think about COVID, you know. They don't think about like all the restrictions and everything right now. It just like, oh man, it's just like something that everybody can remember. And so I thought that having that type of imagery on our building in the midst of a pandemic would be mentally healthy for people. And so I went that route as far as trying to compose an image.
Now, did you design the image and paint it, or did you just design it and other people painted it?
Well,
it's there, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So we finished the mural in June, and I actually designed the layout for the image, the color palette, and me and another awesome artist, Eric Bussart, he helped me paint the mural. I can't say enough fantastic things about Eric, and without him, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And the mural is 25 feet by 55 feet. We did it in 5 days.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal than.
Oh man.
Like I just can't even.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I've done some smaller murals before, and it's a small mural is like working on a really large canvas. But anything is a canvas. But the mural we did, that's the largest piece of art I've ever been a part of. And that's why I knew I needed some assistance, because Eric is a professional mural artist, and I needed his eye and his guidance to help me with the piece. Like I say, without him, it wouldn't have got done. But he showed me and taught me how a mural can be done easily, and within a decent time frame. And so me and him together knocked it out, and it's a pretty good mural. I'm really satisfied with how it turned out.
Was it done with spray paint or paint?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we used brushes, rollers, and spray cans. So it's everything on there.
Nice. Last question I have written down is, do you have any shows coming up? But I mean, I know you have a show currently. Tell me about that, and then anything that you're looking forward to.
Oh, so currently I do have a show on display. I'm at Marquise Art and Frame, downtown Scranton. I always forget the little. Is that right?
Bogart?
Court? Bogart. No, not Bogart Court. It's a Dezo Cafe. And is that Bogart Court or?
I don't know, but I know where.
I think it's right court. But it's this little nook right there, downtown Scranton, and it's a fantastic place. And I've wanted to show there for a while. But in the past few years, like, I told myself not to ask for exhibitions. If people want to see my art, they'll come to me. And this year, they reached out to me and said, "Hey Travis, would you like the show in November?" And I'm like, "Hell yes, yes! I've really been waiting for this, because this is a really nice space." And so I did the show for November and First Friday, and I went to go take it down at the end of the month, and they didn't have anything planned for December, so it's still up currently right now throughout December, and I'll take it down for January. And the next show that I have lined up for sure is February 2023. I will be showing at Highland Hall at the University of Scranton, and because they make their calendars out a year in advance. So 2022 calendar is already set up, and so they'll have me on the 2023 calendar, which gives me what we have 12 months to create new art. So I should have a pretty 13 months to get some new art under my belt, and so hopefully I'll have several new pieces for that show. And right now, that's the only thing that's on my calendar.
What are you working on now? What's this behind you? Like what's driving you right now?
Well, right now I'm actually working on more abstract thoughts, and I'm stuck a little bit. It's not a block, but I'm at the point where I just want to really fine tune how I present it to the viewers. And so while I'm still like muddling this around, I'm just working on some smaller pieces. This piece behind me is one of my favorite pieces from the Reader series. The young guy is holding a book called Black on Black Violence, The Psychodynamics of Black Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination. And it is probably the most influential book that I've read in a long time. It really, really changed the way I think. And I was able to sell the original one that I painted about 3 years ago, and I just miss this piece so much, not being able to see it every day, that I decided to paint it again. I'm working on another smaller piece of my girlfriend, working on some commission stuff right now, but like my next goal is to do a consciousness series, and I've already like started a little bit. There's a piece in my storage room over there where the backgrounds are becoming abstract art in themselves, but I'm trying to use that to convey a message. And so I want to start touching on these questions, the oldest questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? You know, the Bible says God, science says abiogenesis, and we don't. So how does a sack of meat know that it's a sack of meat? And these things fascinate me, you know, and so I want to try to pull that into my art somehow. But the consciousness is non-matter, non-material. So how do you visualize that? How do you visualize non-matter, non-material? And it's just like, I don't know. So I'm trying to understand abstract art more, and how the abstract artist uses the color and motion to convey the feelings. And so once I can like pin that down a little bit more, I'll be able to move forward. But I just want to do it in a way that, you know, technically it's pretty, and you can tell it's my style, but conceptually it's something different, you know. So those are like the things I'm trying to work on. And hopefully next year, like I said, that's why I'm not mad. The university doesn't want me to 2023. Cool, because I gotta like tie these things together, and it's gonna take a little minute, but I've learned to be patient with myself, and so I'll just work on like some other stuff. And I have a still life series that I've started to work on too. So I've been thinking about reinventing the still life for a while, and not reinventing it, but and not modernizing it, but making it more contemporary. So most still lifes traditionally are teapots, coffee pots, vases, bowls of fruit, you know, flowers and things like that. And so I reimagined the still life with and liquor bottles and shot glasses, bongs and hookahs and things like that as contemporary items in our life, and things in my everyday life that I think are cool, that are works of art in themselves. And then trying to get these into a still life. And the first two I've done been really well received, and people like them, and they don't look at them as still lives. They just look at it like, what is this? And it's just like, it's a still life. It is. And so I want to continue that. So I actually photographed some stuff as some reference pictures. I found this toy horse, like just a horse head on a stick, where the kids
Salt downstairs.
Yeah. And so that was our toys, and you use your imagination, and it was fun to play with that. Mm-hmm. And now we have VR headsets and all this other stuff. So I want to use the juxtaposition of what we used to play with and what we play with now, and kind of put that into a still life, and just to see how times have changed. I did it once before. I have this one painting called Old Tech, New Tech, where it's a guy on a payphone, and he's reading the text message on his cell phone at the same time. Because you don't really see the payphones anymore, and just in my lifetime, like, this technology is not there anymore. Mm-hmm. And in my lifetime, I've seen the CD come, CD go, MP3 come, MP3 go, and now everything is just streaming services. And it's this weird technological shift that is happening like almost instantaneously, like. And so I want to capture some of this and maybe, you know, make it into still lives.
All right, so I want you to stop and think for a minute, and just briefly, if you could give 12-year-old Travis some advice, what would you give him before you met your art teacher?
12-year-old Travis, peer pressure is gonna come. Don't fall for it. People are gonna try to get you to do things that you don't want to do, but you're gonna try it because it's cool, and that's not always good. You know, be who you are. You know, just be who you are. People are gonna make fun at you because you like to draw and color, and you don't like playing basketball and football. It doesn't matter. Don't fall for the peer pressure.
Perfect. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you? Anything you want to talk about? Oh, I do want to ask you about this. Is this always on?
Not always.
Well, let's, because she's not going to know what I'm going to talk about. So, do you always stream your self-painting?
Well, I started the YouTube channel about 7 years ago, and I really enjoy streaming while I paint. And it's like having company when no company's around. And if you catch it live, it can be a really easy way to communicate and have a direct conversation with people who are viewing your art. It allows the viewers to see the process of the art. But I'm a very talkative person, and sometimes if I'll come in here, and so I have this routine where a minimum of 2 hours a day in the studio. I need to be in here at least 2 hours a day. And so sometimes I'll turn the stream on and I'll talk for an hour and 45 minutes and without doing no work. And it's just like, so when I know for a fact, like, all right, I got to get this done. I want to get to a precise point on this piece of art before the day is over. I won't turn the stream on because I already know myself. As soon as somebody come here and say, hey, what up? And it's like, oh man, yo, what up, Shaman? Hey, Egypt Divine, how's it going? Oh, feel like we were watching the behind this, and then this whole conversation will start. And then sometimes it'll be 2 people in here, sometimes it'll be 10 or 12 people in here, and people will be in France and Germany and wherever, and they ask good questions sometimes, and it will take my attention away from the art. So I love the stream. Normally I will turn my stream on even if nobody's watching it. It's me documenting my own art process. But if I feel like I want to get to a certain point, I don't stream.
So where can people see you? Like, what's this channel? Like, what is the YouTube thing?
Oh, my YouTube channel is my regular name. So you can just go on YouTube and type in Travis Prince, and I should pop up.
And where else can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so all of my social medias, like all my art pages, are Paintings by the Prince. So if you're on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, you can just type in Paintings by the Prince, and my stuff should come up. Or you can Google me, which is pretty weird now, that if you just Google Travis Prince artist, all of my stuff will pop up.
Cool. Have you been published anywhere? Has your art been published anywhere?
Well, I've been in one digital magazine in like Ghana, Africa. Like this guy contacted me, he was like, bro, your stuff is good, you want to be a part of a magazine? And he did. We got on the phone, he did like a little question and answer thing and put it in there. And I was on Vice, on their website, Vice News. They did a story like years ago when I first started streaming, and they were asking about PlayStation YouTube streamers, and why do you guys do this? And so I said I do it to show my art. So those are like the 2 times that I can really think that my art has been published.
Cool. Now you said you had, what was his name? Bill
Harris.
Yeah. So when are you going to do that for a little kid, or have you done that for some little kids?
I have definitely tried to, but even Bill, like when I met him, I was mid-20s, and most of his classes, like I think some of his youngest students are about 16 or 17, and I think my teaching style is very similar to that, where it's hard for me to teach younger kids the same things that I know. So when I do projects with children, I just try to keep them interested in the art, and just art is cool. And if you like to draw and you like to paint, don't get discouraged. And if you're not as good as you want to be, just practice more and you'll get there. But as far as giving like in-depth tutorials and lessons, I only did it once up at the library, and that's when I realized like kids it's hard to keep their attention, especially when you're trying to teach the style that I do. And so, but if I find any gifted children, I would definitely mentor.
And what do you call your style? What is it?
It's like, I think my style is a part of the realist movement. It's not realism like photorealism, but realism as in the realness of life. Like I think it came out of Germany when they started just painting the streets, and you see women hanging out clothes or a man sweeping trash off the street. Norman Rockwell was a realist. His art is just everyday life. And so I try to put the realism of the world into my art. And so I get a question all the time, so why don't you, you should paint Tupac, or you should paint Biggie, or Bob Marley, or it's like, no, why don't I paint everyday people that look like you, that look like me? Because we all add to the human story. Like, we're all important. We all are playing a part in this thing. And so I don't have to like gravitate towards someone whose image is recognized already. You know, I would like to take you as a person and make your image recognizable. And so it's the realism of the world.
Nope.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I don't have anything else either.
I just want to take a picture before you move. I like the picture behind you. Can you work for us for a little while? Or is that
Sure.
too much to ask?
No.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. I'm just gonna switch batteries.
Yeah, you talk a lot.
You also say a lot of really
Yeah, you do
good
say really good
things.
stuff.
It was because like we haven't spent that much time together. Whenever we see each other, it's always a celebration or
And
something.
everybody's laughing and joking all the time.
Oh, yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's real life, but
Yeah.
I've never gotten to just like sit with you and talk to you about your art and what makes you tick.
Yeah.
And
No, I really appreciate the opportunity.
it was a pleasure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, me too. This is an opportunity for us.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, you're a good soul. You're a good person, and it's good to feature that.
And crazy talent.
Yeah,
So
really.
what I want to do is load this pallet up.
Let's grab a new battery.
The bathroom's on the second floor. If y'all
I'm
see it,
good.
yeah.
I like to get you actually doing your stuff, doing what you're doing.
So I have like a standard color palette for skin tone.
Were you going to do this today?
Yeah. That's what I was working on.
That's your girl?
Yeah, so I got the commissions wrapped up. I always stop what I'm doing when the commissions come in.
Yeah.
So I gotta get those out first, and then I'm struggling. So you can't see it. That wood stick back there is actually a commission. The white stick.
Yep.
And so a group of friends. So one friend, ex-military, injured. He has to have a walking stick to walk.
Oh.
So another one of our friends like, I'm gonna get you a walking stick for Christmas. And Travis, I'm gonna get you to customize the walking stick for our other friend for Christmas. And so that's pretty dope. So he's paying me to do this for one of our other buddies.
That's sweet.
So working on that. I'll show you one cool thing I did to it.
You know Christmas is coming, right?
Yeah, and I told him, dude, you're pushing it because it might not get done.
Oh.
But it had this big crack in it, and I packed it with gold.
That's awesome. You better get on it,
Oh, it's
though.
gonna feel so special.
Oh,
There's nothing
you have to wait till it
There's
dries.
nothing I can do right now.
So you do that with oil too?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was thinking like, maybe I should have tried something else.
Why oil over acrylic for that specifically?
Well, that's all you use, right?
That's really all I use. I just prefer it's a hardy, more durable paint. That's why most paintings you see in the Louvre and every other great museum are oil-based paints because they just last for a long time and the colors stay vibrant longer.
I like the texture.
Yeah, and the acrylic and water-based paints are getting better. They really are, and they do have a more durable lifespan now.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like oil paints. It's just the more traditional way of painting, the more traditional medium, and it's for me it's easier to work with. It's what I've been taught to work with. So. Oh, paint a stick. Oh, I'm gonna slap some damn oil on here.
Slap some oil on
2 weeks later, shit still ain't dry. Damn, man. Yep, we'll get to it.
She told you that this might not run for a while, like, yeah.
Whenever.
I don't think I told you yet.
No, whenever you guys get ready. Trust me.
Because we only put out one story a week.
Oh, dang. I forgot to talk about my TV show.
You could talk to us when you're painting.
Yeah.
You have a TV show?
Yeah, so I do like a legit TV show where I interview other people.
Oh, really?
But it's the same thing. Like I do an episode, and it takes a while before it ever comes out. So I know how it goes.
So, it's your ECTV show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that? I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
What's EC?
Electric City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today my guest is Nikki Moser. Hey, Nikki, I'm happy to have you on the show. Hey, Travis, I'm happy to be here.
I know.
So, everybody knows Nikki. You're really.
I work at Marywood.
Scranton, but for
She used to.
who don't know you,
Yeah.
I like for my guests to
Right?
get a little bit of information and background.
Yeah.
So that's why she moved to Maine now.
Yeah.
On who you are, how long you've been in the area, and what kind of art you normally work with.
Well, I'm one of those in and out of the areas. I grew up in Honesdale, so I'm sort of a local girl, and then I left to live in New York City for a long time, and then I ended up back here.
I don't know how to turn it off.
Materials are really...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for a couple of years, and I have like 13 interviews so far. 13 or 14 interviews. So with the palette, I normally go dark to light, so I add my darkest colors on the left, and as I go to the right, I'll add the lighter colors.
Why do you do it like that?
Not really sure, honestly. For me, it just seems easier, kind of like we read, like right to left, and it's, I don't know. I guess, I don't know, when you're reading, you're in the dark until you get to the bottom, and then now you're enlightened on what you have just read, so maybe like that, from dark to light.
I like that. Also really positive.
Some of these can get kind of messy on the top, so.
Now, was that palette knife really from Bob Ross's, your first set?
My first set. I've had that for years.
Which one was it? The white one?
Yep.
I'm gonna just squeeze it.
Can still read it a little bit.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yep. It came with 3 brushes. 3 or 4 brushes. It came with some smaller brushes, this palette knife, this brush, and it had like 8 colors in it. Can't really remember now, but Yeah, those are my first tools right there. Get some of that. Get some of that.
Do you want to come over here?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. I was like, wait a minute. Travis, is anything in here wet?
No. Well, yes.
Stick.
The stick. I lean everything wet against the wall.
Okay.
Like everything
I
else.
want to just make
yeah.
sure that.
No, everything else is good to go.
Okay.
That'd be great. How many like paints do you use for a painting?
Anywhere from like 10 to 12 colors. I try to work in layers to kind of give it that depth to it.
Right.
So I use a lot of color. I get criticized for that too. Some professional artists say you should be able to work from a limited palette. You should be able to create any piece with 5 colors. I'm like, I could, but you have to take those 5 colors and mix them together to get the colors you want, when I can just put the color I want on the palette without mixing it to get there. So it's a little bit easier for me that way. So I'm not struggling so much with the cool and the warm and so I'll just, like I say, throw about 10 to 12 colors on there. May not use all of them, may use more of one than the other one.
It kind of takes the snobbiness out of it. The artist mentality, too.
Yeah, I'm not a snobby artist. You didn't blend those colors yourself. Nah, it came right out the tube just like that. Already. So I didn't have to take this color and a little bit of this color to get that color. I just got that color already, man.
You just bought it.
Yeah, it just come like that out the tube. Alright, so that might be a good range. Right there, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's 10 different colors on there. And then, I actually just got the full patent for my brush holder done.
The what?
I patented this brush holder.
Oh, wait, how so? Tell me about that.
So this right here was
Oh, I saw those. Those are yours?
yeah. So I've seen something very similar to this that was way expensive. Like some guy wanted a design he's selling it for like $80 or something. I'm like, well, you can design something easier than that. It just snaps together. And so I made one out of cardboard and was using it for a while. And then one of my friends saw it. He was like, dude, you should really try to develop that thing. And so he's like, send me the blueprints for it. I'm like, all right. So I sent him the blueprints. I think I lost one piece of it. And this was the prototype he made for me. And it's literally just 4 pieces of plastic. And you have 2 long pieces and 2 short pieces. And they just snap together and work like that. And you can lay your brushes. He's like, you need to develop that thing, dude. And so I talked to a couple of patent offices and some plastic manufacturers and got those made.
How much do you charge for those things?
$20.
Do they sell like?
No, they don't sell.
Do they sell locally at all? You
No.
don't know.
No. Nobody likes it. Nobody thinks it's practical.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But if it's something you use, I
yeah,
guess.
that's the thing. Like, I'll get a sell every once in a while if people come across or some artists that I know personally. I'm like, hey, you might want to try this. Oh yeah, let me get one. But I don't know, just like I said, just snaps together. It holds an assortment of different brushes and different sizes, and it's pretty lightweight. It's not in the way of anything, and I don't know, it works good for me. And I like this design because I can store my brushes like that, but I work with so many different colors. So if I have a brush with this on it. Brush. I don't want to have to wash the brush out every time.
That's a
so
great
I can
idea.
Just,
yeah.
If my brush is wet, just set it there because I know I'm going to come back to that color while I'm still working on this piece, and so I can have 4 or 5 different wet brushes with different color paints that aren't messing each other up or getting paint everywhere or getting paint on you while you're trying to use it. And then you can just, like, I don't need these big ones to start with, so I just select which brushes I want closest to me. And I'll probably use like this brush and this brush, maybe this brush. And I don't really need those, and so just have them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, handy at reach.
That's really cool.
Okay, I'm fine with this.
Do you want more light to paint, by the way? Because I know that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
turned
so-
it off for the interview.
No, yeah, but when I do start, I wouldn't mind having.
Yeah, of course.
Is it back there?
No. I can just turn the overhead light on.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
All right.
And then I'll turn mine off so it doesn't mix your color
Oh, sorry.
temperatures.
It'll
It'll
come your way.
I don't know. you
With
put
or
it on.
without the tie.
Oh, sorry guys.
I don't wear the tie that much no more. When I show my friends early episodes, they're like, "Bro, are you wearing a tie?" I'm like, "It's a show, man," because they're used to seeing me like this.
Yeah.
So I like the 2 contrasting parts of my thing. Like, I can be more free in here. But then I do like sitting in the studio and talking with people about art, but it's a little bit more professional.
Amy, was that other light helping you?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
So I normally pull the guys up to this, put a camera up to this so they can get close to it, but you guys are gonna sit back. And plus, I already painted this before, so you guys already seen this painting. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal, man. Alright. Can I take one little break?
Yeah, take a break.
Of course.
Everyone's in the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, just tell me to move because I could always need it later.
Okay.
So.
I still have this mic on while I go to the bathroom.
That's okay. Oh.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you probably don't want to
see.
see.
I feel like you won't want that.
Like, what is that sound in there?
That'd be a good sound we could
It's
keep for future.
Well, I forgot when we interviewed Clancy. So when we did the Dan Flood outreach, I had this on her, and I heard in the interview footage, "Do you have a bathroom I could use?" And I was like, "Oh no! Oh my god!" She didn't wind up. She wound up just holding it until later. But I felt so bad because I was like, "Oh, that's like gonna invade your privacy." Like, I don't know. I just really like to take people's privacy into consideration.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. What? He uses tiger style, girl. Tiger style. What's that mean?
I don't know. Should I ask him? Oops.
So we're gonna meet at the church tonight at,
Yeah.
what time are you gonna get there? 7-ish? 8-ish?
Whenever you want to get there.
Probably
I
get there
think-
between 7 and 8.
You have a way better pulse on what's happening than I do, so I'll follow your lead.
Sometime between 7 and 8.
Okay.
I just don't want to, I mean, we're gonna be there for, it's gonna be a long process, I think.
I think so too. So,
That's why I don't want to get there at 6.
Yeah, even closer to 8 maybe.
Yeah.
That would be good. Try to do you think this is going to take you?
To finish this piece?
Mm-hmm.
I can say about 80 hours in here. I have the background is going to be highly textured. So if you look at the source reference, you see how that wall is. I'm gonna use my palette knife to get that flaky texture.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a lot of paint, a lot more gray and white that I have to layer. The first time, I couldn't really make out whatever the wording was on there. So my piece said black melanin. That is what's going to make this almost an original piece again, because I'm going to put something different in the background, so it's not going to be exactly like the first piece. So still not really sure of the wording yet. I'm reading a book of quotes from Alan Watts right now, so I might throw an Alan Watts quote back there or something like that. And just by it being on a larger canvas, I just want to take my time and get the details in there. And plus, I've already did it once before, so I want to do a little bit better. And with it being on a larger canvas, I can squeeze more details into it. So
when you do the book, like, will you turn the canvas to?
Yep.
I was.
You get that?
Yeah.
Because I like to write straight across. Yeah, so I definitely have to tilt it. And then I figured out a way, because sometimes you can't just turn it all the way or this way. So if you angle the canvas in between these two stops.
Yeah.
And I'll do it like that and just have the stops on the side so you can go straight across, or however it takes. But I definitely like to make sure that I'm right in a straight line. It helps. That's one thing too, like the lettering. When you get close enough, they're not really perfect. I've seen some people like tape off their letters and make it extremely perfect, or use a stencil for it or something like that. And it's just like, I don't want to add that much more time to the piece, you know. Like I said, I already can see like 70, 80 hours trying to get this thing done, and then another 10 hours of making stencils, and it's just like I said, I don't want it to be surrealism where you can't tell it's not a painting. I don't want it to fool you so much that you absolutely think it's a photograph.
Right, you want it to be a painting.
Yeah, I want it to be artistic and free in a way. So I just like to letter by hand. I think I want to.
I'm gonna come around the other side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't want to be in your way either.
You're not.
It's got to be nerve-wracking us here.
Oh, no. Yeah, nice.
Two weird chicks poking around.
With the stream going and the music blasting and the dog running around, it's always like something. I can definitely still focus. And plus, I'm super photogenic, so.
Noted to get you photos. I think you already know that I already overshoot B-rolls. Travis sat outside with me last year while we were filming a documentary together, and he was such a champ because it was like 10 degrees outside. And we were just doing these like power poses essentially.
Of him?
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It was awesome.
What was the documentary?
I filmed a documentary with Glennis about the Black Scranton Project's community.
Oh, cool.
It's our Center for Arts and Culture. And yeah, that's how she and I became really close. And Travis was part of it. I wanted to get power shots of all of the board members. And
so you made him sit out in the cold where he hates being cold.
Everyone sat out in the cold. But we couldn't do B-roll because COVID was so rampant, so I decided that all of the B-roll should be people staring into the camera, looking like in a way that makes them feel powerful.
Oh, that's
essentially
cool.
So it was wonderful. Well, I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Even though it was so cold.
Alright, Kelly, I just want to get one shot. Do you mind leaving for a second? Or coming over here?
Oh, I'll come back.
Ooh, sorry about that. Oh, wow. God, just in that little bit of time, the change, holy cow.
Yeah, from the underpainting, so I normally would put anywhere from 3 to 4 layers of paint, but this first layer is just like the base layer. This is what we call the underpainting. So everything on the canvas right now, you will never see it because I'll paint over it essentially like 2 more times. But from this layer to the next layer, it is already a dramatic difference. I love this. This is my favorite part. The underpainting is kind of laborsome, and then the final details are just like, you're just like, I just want to get it done.
Oh, so this is the part where you're like just powering it out.
Yeah, I like this part.
That's pretty cool.
It's a fun insight into your process, dude. Amy, if I come to the doorway, will I be in your way? She's not right there, is she?
No, she's not.
Okay.
Let's get a different lens. Did you get some of the books?
Not yet, and I'm going to.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of them are in his, yeah.
Well, also just such an important part of his work.
Some questions I get, especially from this, the Chancellor Williams paintings, like, are those real books? Like, yes, they're real books. Do you really have those books? Yes, I really have those books.
Well, I actually didn't know that until I was reading some of your earlier interviews where you talked about the Reader series and how they're part of the lexicon of books that you've read.
Here's his,
It adds more depth.
there's the paintbrush holder in cardboard.
Oh yeah, that's the real first one.
The original.
I was like, dude, $80, I can make something way better for way less, man. I'll just use some cardboard.
Travis, what piece are you the most proud of?
I would probably have to say.
I'm gonna leave this right here so it picks up your audio.
The piece downstairs called Royal. Oh, I forgot to put that back on.
That's okay. You can put it back on whenever you want, or not.
One of the pieces downstairs called Royal is the little girl with a very decorative dress.
Yes.
I think that's one of my most time-consuming pieces, but it's one of my prettiest pieces. I'm really proud of how beautiful that looks. But I feel really strongly about this Chancellor Williams piece because that's the first piece that I looked at as a real challenge for the lettering itself. It was like, geez, I don't know why I even took this picture. Like, what the heck? But I made it through it, and it turned out really well. So those are like two of my best pieces that I like the best. I really like looking at those. Cause they're the most time consuming and the most tedious, but they both came out really well.
So when I was downstairs, I noticed a lot, there was like a few with the gun theme.
That was another one for like that's why in the first one with the newspaper I talked about the gun ban, you know, and like I really believe in the Second Amendment, and we have the Second Amendment just in case the First Amendment doesn't work, and so they're trying to just take a lot of the freedoms away. Just like subtly I try to put it in there. And people shy away from firearms and stuff like that, and I get it, you know. I definitely understand. But once again, I have like tons of military in my family, and if you're trained well and you're responsible, and I don't see a reason to own a gun. I don't see a downside.
Well, I don't think that we need like AR-15s and things like that.
Yeah, you know, like especially for just like regular civilians, dude, they're just like I don't know, ego things. And once again, that's something that I really struggle with. Is like going back to like the war conversation. It's like we collectively we're so intelligent, but we still make a new better gun. The gun does this now, and the bullets can do this now, and now this tank can do this. And it's like, how much better does a device of death have to be? You can kill more people more efficiently. Like, and it's like, okay, so like when is a point where you stop trying to redesign and re-engineer these death weapons? You don't, like you say, you don't need 150 round clip or some crazy stuff. Where you going? You going to hunt deer? You don't need that. You don't hunt deer with that. You hunt people with that.
That's right.
And for home security, you have a handgun, a shotgun, you're okay. A handgun or a shotgun, you're definitely okay. And personal protection. Because you're not walking into the Kroger's with a fucking AR strapped on your back because it's an open carry state. Like, you don't need that.
Yeah, I like the little girl with the mask and the...
Is that the AR-15?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's with the little boy with the Mickey Mouse shirt?
The where?
The Mickey Mouse shirt? On the steps going down? Little boy.
That's actually a piece from artist that I really like. That's not mine.
Oh, okay.
You know, I bought that print from him. He uses his son as a model a lot, and he does a lot of that, like Egyptian style, adding that Egyptian connection into his art and using his kids. He kind of reminds me of Kehinde Wiley in a way, because he's recently done like some other art with his wife and his daughter that have these very Italian-esque Renaissance poses to him. He's very, very interesting artist, and I don't buy much art for obvious reasons.
You take up a lot of the wall space.
Yeah. But his art is, I don't know, I really like that image.
Travis, what's the closest I could get?
As close as you can get.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
Kelly, I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
And I'll see you tonight.
I'll see you tonight.
Travis, it was so nice to actually get to talk to you.
Thanks for coming, Amy. You're so awesome. Awesome questions and a great conversation.
Yeah, it was nice.
So now you got to be on my show so I can ask you about your photography.
With Kelly, maybe. We'll do it together.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Something we can tag team it.
We can do it together.
I am going to take some pictures of your art on the
Whatever,
downstairs.
The bedrooms, my dressing. You can go in any room, turn the light on.
All right.
You have access.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you again.
So cool. Your blending is amazing.
The magic part.
One part of the skill right there.
Now my mentor, Bill, is a white guy, and so his art is 99.9% white people. And so when I first started painting, I did paint more white people, but then when I started doing darker skin tones and people of color, I actually got my mentor to ask, like, what colors did you use? Like, how did you get that skin tone like that? And that's kind of weird. I was like, he's like, you know, I don't normally paint dark skinned people, but man, the way you do it is really good. And I was like, I don't know, I felt honored that like my mentor was asking me an art question. I was like, that is so dope, yo. I actually started this underpainting in his class. Went down to Virginia for something. I forgot why we were going down to Virginia.
Was that recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just went down there because my family still lives there. So I was just going to hang out with my family, and I texted Bill. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna be in town for a couple of days. You mind if I come into your art class and sit with your students and paint? He was like, hell yeah, man, you come hang out with us. And so I started working on this in his class, and he told me to make sure I keep him posted with it because he wants to see the progression of it as well. But he's not always on social media, so I'll just text him some pictures of like the progress.
Yeah, he's the now old school way.
But he's really interested in my color palette now.
The way you render skin tones is gorgeous. That's what stood out to me about your art first. It was like, whoa. Everyone glows in every single painting.
So he taught me everything, and once again it's weird. Like because the palette that I originally started using, I really don't use that same palette anymore. But it was his, like, he just gave me an understanding of the medium, like, and you can make oil paints have that like glowy effect to it. Just take your time, and the layering process is what really helps, like, to build it up like that. Some people would look at my paintings and just assume, oh, I sat down and I painted it. It's no, I painted, and then I painted again, and then I painted again, and then it gets to that point where it's like it has that softness and that depth to the skin. I don't know. I enjoy it. And, you know, if nobody ever sees my art, or if nobody ever buys my art, I'll still paint, because I just really enjoy doing this.
I think one time, it was when we went to First Friday, and I was talking to Egypt about, we were just talking about our days, and she was saying, yeah, you go home and you paint. And that's what you do, and you're always in the studio. And it was this moment, I think that you were just walking ahead of us. And I was thinking, well, this person that I'm hanging out with right now is going to go home and probably paint. And he's going to go, like, this is one part of his life, but then there's this whole other part of this same human that is just dedicated. I don't know, it spoke to me. It spoke to me as, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say other than that. I was like, all right, like, you need to do this day in and day out and day in and day out.
I get other artists to say, well, how do you produce so much? How do you, I don't know. In the beginning, it was definitely rough. Like I said, I went about 10 years without doing any art. I was a real knucklehead in my late teens and my early 20s. I was just a knucklehead, doing a bunch of dumb stuff. And it's just like, to even start my routine, I didn't know what to do. But I don't know. And it's still hard to, like, explain why. I just enjoy it so much, and I feel like that it gives me purpose. It gives me an activity. Like, I'm never bored. I'm never bored. I always have something to do. I love to read. I love to play video games. I love to paint. That's like 3 major little hobbies right there. It's just like I always have something to do, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And so, and if I go 2 or 3 days without being in the studio, it feels weird. It's like I'm missing out on something. Even when like I said, I went on vacation, I took my art with me, so I can just paint when I'm still there and go paint with my mentor and his new students and check out their stuff. He has some really, man, he had this one girl. She was probably in her late teens, like 18, 19, and he does this same bowl of fruit. Like, that's your first assignment. You're gonna paint this bowl of fruit, and that when she was painting, she had the bowl. I'm like, oh, so this your first painting in here? But it was so good. It was so good, and I just looked at it. I was like, whatever it is, you got it. You know, whatever it takes to have that touch, you got it. And like, you can see she was still a very young person, like, and like, she got it. And if she just keeps at it, like, she will be amazing. She's gonna be amazing. And I love to see his other students. Like, cause I know they're getting the same instruction that I got. All you gotta do is just take it and run with it. Just listen to it. And it's weird. I don't know, it took me a long time to really listen to him. Like, oh, you're making it too dark. And it's just like, but I came to you with artwork already. I know how to paint. Yeah, you know, but it's too light right there. Darken that up or make that lighter. And he just did that shit for years. He basically just critiques. And He gives you the guidelines, and then he critiques your process. And then he can see, like, because I blend a lot, and he told me, like, it's not necessary to blend that much, but I see your style coming through, and that's just your style. And he let me run with it, but at the same time he said just try it this way, and and then manipulate it as you need to. So I can say he's an excellent instructor, and just being able to see his other students. And
well, and you guys maintained a relationship.
Oh yeah, every time I go home, I still go see Bill. Like I say, even my high school art teacher, we're friends on Facebook. They still live in South Carolina, so I don't get to see them as often. I try to go home like twice a year, but it's mostly like my own family events and stuff. But a couple years ago, I was home, and she still teaches art. She doesn't do high school anymore. She went back to elementary school art.
But she still teaches.
Yeah, and she had me come talk to her students and show them art, and they were like, "Wow, you were her student?" I was like, "Yeah, I was her student like when I was your guys' age, huh?" Like, she's the real deal. This lady's been teaching art forever, and still loves it, and still loves the kids, and like, I don't know, I'm so happy to have had her in my life.
Your mentors. I'm gonna also go I'm gonna go take some video of paintings around the house and then come back up for everything.
Okay.
Before shimmying.
Don't you love them old outlets like that? They don't want to give the cord back.
No, they don't. But then they want to take whatever's next to them with them.
You can the whole thing or nothing.
So take the wall. Oh, that's so funny. Do you know when this house was built?
Oh, I think this is like the early 60s maybe.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to look on that deed again. I'm pretty sure like this neighborhood came up in like, or maybe, no. It might have been the 40s.
It has.
Because they said it was something. They said in the 20s, the lot behind us was a car lot, and then this building was something else. But I don't know if this house was here. I gotta check the deed to see really. But it might be like the 40s or 50s. Yeah. It has some upgrades, but definitely not enough. I still want to do a lot more to it.
Well, it's yours, and so you have time.
Yeah, definitely do.
That's what's up, Piggy. Piggy say the best artist on YouTube. I want to see the full episode. I got you. Bro, who played the that Matrix, yo? I played it a little bit last night, man.
I gotta play it some more though.
It's weird because it's like it's not really a lot to do on there, but then I couldn't find nothing to do. Honestly, like I was just walking around the city, And then I started watching the Rad Brad play it, and then there are like some challenges on there, like, oh, you got to drive a certain speed on the highway, and you got to find all these little markers. Yeah, it's free, bro. Like I said, I already got it. I think they said it's only on the PS5 and the Xbox S though. So if you got the, cause they're just trying to show off that new graphics engine. So I think if you have the old consoles that you can't get it for free. But it looks hella good, yo. I'm not gonna lie, it looks hella good. But like I said, it was kind of late when I realized it was free. I don't know why, man. I don't know why I missed it. But like I didn't even know it was out until yesterday. And then I was like, wait a minute, this thing free? And so I started downloading it, and then it downloaded like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And I played it for a minute and wound up going to bed. Cause I had to do this morning. I was like, I can't stay up all night playing video games. I got shit to do. And so, but I'm definitely gonna play it a little bit today. I don't really have yeah, I don't think I got anything else planned for today. Honestly. Work with some art. Might cook dinner because my girlfriend is at the studio. So I have dinner ready for her when she comes home. But other than that, yeah, nothing. I got nothing. You know, this is a nice Saturday. One of them good Saturdays. You ain't got a lot of errands to run. You ain't got to do a lot of other stuff. You know. You was impressed? Right, bro. And just watching it, yo, visually, it is very pleasing visually. And that's why I've said I've been holding reservation on any real critiques of these current generation consoles because there isn't any content on it. So far, all content have been cross-gen, where you can get it on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series S, or you can get it on the PS4 and the PS5. Like they've been, they really haven't shown us the full capabilities of the new hardware yet. And I think this is the first time where they're like, look, this is what this console is able to do. And it has the ability for you to like toggle different view modes so you can actually see like the pixel rate or something on there, and it's really impressive. Like you say, yeah, even just watching it, it was impressive. And that's why as soon as I seen Rad Brad, I'm like, wait a minute, I can play this for free. I turned the video off. I turned YouTube off. I'm like, I don't want to see any more of it. I just want to play it myself. The Matrix game puts a fork in the Spider-Man game. Okay, now you see how big that city is? Now throw Spider-Man in there. That's what I'm saying. Like they're capable of doing everything like this. So the next Spider-Man is going to be awesome, bro. You can take that city and put anything in there. Put Grand Theft Auto in a city like that. Put Spider-Man in there or whatever. And you can fly around. Put Superman in that shit, yo. Like graphically, they've done something new. And it looks really good. I like it. I really do like it. Like I say, the Matrix, this thing is, just like you said, it's the first thing that has impressed me so far. So, I've been waiting. And what graphics engine is it? Damn, what graphics engine are they showcasing in there? I forgot the name of that shit. the Unreal. It's the Unreal Engine, right? I don't know why I kept thinking of Frostbite engine, but it's the Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, the Unreal 5. Now they gave us a little sample of the Unreal 5 like months and months ago with that girl that jumped off the cliff or something and kind of like flew down into like this rocky looking city. Like, y'all remember that one? That was like the first little teaser they gave of us of like the capabilities of that new engine. And now they're actually letting us play it. Like, so I'm hyped for that. So if you guys, I'll stream that later when I go downstairs, yo. I can stream that for us to watch for a little minute. Because I'm definitely like I said, I didn't do anything but walk around the city. I ain't really fly or get in a car or none of that stuff, yo. So I'm definitely trying to drive around that city today. So looking at the Unreal 5, do you think any other engine has a chance to like top it right now, or is every major studio gonna use that engine? Cause you remember that Frostbite engine was pretty good, yo. That Frostbite made they did a bunch of the Battlefield with, you know, when Battlefield had like the really really destructible maps and all of that shit, yo. That was Frostbite. And then that other engine they use, what's the drone that they use for the Halo series, yo? What engine that shit runs on? Nvidia. So who you think gonna be the top dog? What does Grand Theft Autos? What does Rockstar Studio use for Grand Theft Auto? What engine did Grand Theft Auto 5 run on, yo? That might have been the Unreal Engine, ain't it? I know. Hmm. Cause I honestly think like Rockstar had the best two looking games in a long time, yo. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Bruh, I was lucky. I wasn't smart, bruh. I was lucky. Yo, my cousin got me one like just a few months ago. I think I only had mine for like 6, 7 months or something like that. But yo, and still again, yo, I don't even know how it's the weirdest thing, yo. He called me and said, "You want a PS5?" He already had one. He got his day one. He ordered his day one and got it. Then he called me one day. He was like, "Yo, you want PS? You got a PS5 yet?" I said, "No, I can't find one." He's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want one." He said, "Oh, Sony just sent me an email and said that they have a PS5 on hold if I want to purchase it." I said, "Well, purchase the motherfucker and send it to my house, and I'll send you the money." And so I got the PS5, the disc version, and an extra controller. And he just ordered that shit offline like it was no problem. Like it was no problem, bro. I still don't understand that shit, man. The rage. Okay, yeah. And now, and that's why it takes different studios like Naughty Dog, Rockstar, and Bethesda to put out games. That's why you only get their games once every 5 years, 6 years. But they look good running on that fucking Rage engine and shit like that. So, like I said, that fucking that Unreal 5 is tight. It look good, and isn't that like a open source engine? Like a lot of different studios use that engine, but like I want to see specific in-house studios like the Rockstar Advanced Gaming Engine. I want to see how those translate into like a fully next gen console. No crossover shit. Push that shit to the fucking limit and see what you can do with it, yo. So I already know like the next Grand Theft Auto, that shit gonna be crazy, son. That shit gonna be crazy. And the Unreal Engine is already out, so you just take from the best too. It's like, oh well, they use this type of algorithm, but we can use that shit too. The Decimal Engine? Bruh, I ain't never heard of that shit. Oh yeah, my cousin look out big time for me, bro. Big time. I was like, man, well, you got a PlayStation on standby, and I'm the first person you think of that asks, oh, Decima. Yeah, I'm the first person he thought to ask, like, yo, cuzzo, you straight on that PS5 yet? Nah, I got you. Don't worry. I'm about to order that shit for you right now. Bro, he ordered that shit. That shit was in my house in 4 days. From the time I got off the phone, soon as I'm sending him money, I'm like, you ordered it now? How much it is? Oh, with this and that, and like the disc version and the disc version, the extra controller, and the shipping was like, I think it was like $605 or $607. Like it was like the normal prices plus the shipping fees or whatever. And so from the time I got off the phone to him, that shit was 4 days, and that shit was on my damn doorstep. Boy, I ain't even go to work that day, my nigga. I did not go to work that day. I've been waiting home for that shit, son. Swear to God. I ain't go to work that day. I don't feel good. My stomach hurting. I can't come in today. Oh, I hope you feel better. Oh, I'm going to feel better. Once I know this package in my damn hand, I'm going to feel a hell of a lot better. Because I ain't about to leave this up to chance for nothing. I don't live in a really, 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 really bad neighborhood. But hey, man, fuck that. Yo, as soon as UPS pull up outside, I just heard a big truck. I kept looking out the window all morning. I'm like, oh, but that might be my package right there. But I'm looking out the window, this motherfucker getting out the truck, coming to my steps. But I'm already, bruh, I opened the door. I opened the front door. Why the UPS man walking up the steps? Oh, bruh, that's for me. My nigga, as soon as he put it in my hands, I was like, this a PS5. He just looked at me and just smiled. I was like, yeah, boy, with the house. Like, yeah, boy, you got that PS5, boy. Yeah, that's no lie. I did not go to work that day. Your package will be delivered on Friday, whatever, between this time. Oh, I can't go to work on Friday. That shit supposed to be here Friday? Oh, I can't do it, man. Look, my foot hurt. I fell, I twisted my ankle. My elbow got this little popping sound in it. And I might have a fever with it. I can't come into the office today. I don't feel well. But like I said, y'all ain't really been missing nothing yet anyway. But now with that Unreal Engine out, now y'all about to start missing some shit for real. Now y'all about to miss some stuff. Like all before, y'all ain't really been missing nothing. But y'all about to miss it now, man. If you ain't got your hands on it by now, oh, you about to miss out, boy. You about to miss out. Shit just got real. Shit just got unreal. I can already hear the arguments coming from the girlfriend now. You been on that game all day. Calm down, calm down. It's the Unreal Engine 5, man. I gotta test this thing out. Is it lunchtime? I'm getting hungry. It must be close to lunchtime. Oh, shit. It's 1:30. You got to get something to eat now. Thought I felt a little rumble in my tummy. Alright, guys. I'm about to try to get to a stopping point, and then I'm gonna fix some lunch real quick. And like I said, I'm gonna stream that Matrix game, man. If y'all wanna watch that, I'm about to go play the Matrix. About to be Neo.
one that I didn't film yet is this one. Film that and then God, very little bit. What else do you have going on this weekend?
This right here.
And you look so happy about it.
This is my weekend.
Wonderful.
My girlfriend hates the fact that I don't like to travel. It's like, let's go here. I'm like, yeah, but if we go there, that means that's like a weekend I don't get to pay.
But you said you took your painting on vacation.
Yeah, I have done it. She's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm going to go to the art class. Screw that.
What she signed up for when she fell for an artist.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's an artist as well.
Yeah.
So.
She gets it. She gets it even more now. She's really understanding.
Okay.
Most people don't find their passion in life, you know. And then people who do know their passion in life, like they go full throttle with it. Even when you're photography, you're art, it's just like that's what we do. That's who we are.
And you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off, yo. You can't.
No.
So she gets it.
Yeah. Do you just lose yourself in the song?
I listen to my stomach though. Like when I get hungry, I eat. My tummy growling, so that kind of makes me keep track of time.
Gastronomic stopwatch.
Yeah.
out of here.
That's great.
Oh.
Appreciate it so much.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
This means a lot to me.
Right back at you. I'm so happy that we did this.
Yes.
I mean, hopefully it's the first of many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
I definitely want to get y'all on my show too.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So I'll schedule some stuff out and see when we get in there.
Say, wait, do you have your phone number or do you have mine?
I don't think so.
Do you mind if I take yours?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted everyone to have it. Okay, I'm gonna text you now so that I don't forget.
Old bones.
Oh, not at all. Well, thank you for today.
Oh.
It was awesome spending the morning with you.
Really good time.
Me too. I will see you so soon, I hope.
Okay.
No, it's... Oh. Later, Travis.
Bye.
Tell Egypt I said hi.
I definitely will.
Oh, do I need to do anything to lock up?
No. I'm coming down right now.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
All right.
See you later.
Bye. All right, let's get out of here too, guys. We're going.